trying to run over any other details from last time. We're not going to do a prologue. I'm going to instead run through a brief RP with Brackle, and that'll serve as the prologue. Does anybody have any questions or anything carrying over from last time?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fucked are we?
I guess it depends on what you do.
So
As
like a
it
15.
stands right now, totally honestly, above the table, maybe like a 2.
Yep.
But that can go up.
Change that number. We'll change that number real fast.
Right. Also, other goals for today. Morrowill is going to intend to gift your party the bunker for use as a home base. So you guys will, at the beginning of Chapter 3, have that to use as a base of operations. And I guess just assist each other, or you can have me assist you in figuring out what you want, how much downtime you want to spend, and what you would like to use that time doing, because you can use that time to do a lot of different things. So, if nobody has anything else for the good of the order.
Actually, someone ask one question so I can go and pee really quick. I don't know why they do that before.
I have a call to action to make that we
Okay.
protect the children of Azura. Whatever the fuck the knife wants to do.
Yeah, I think from what you got, I don't know if you guys would actually know any of it, your characters, but as players, you know that they had sworn to each other to protect protect each other's children first, and then
That's
secondarily, just as a general setup of stronger and more reliable protections for children nationwide. Which is something that you could choose to do on downtime, during downtime, is research the knife. If you want to have that information at the ready, that would be a cool thing to spend your time doing. I think I already have an idea of what Eric and Teth will be doing. And probably Vern, but I have no idea what Brackle or Zach will do.
Kill more NPCs.
No prediction at all. Yeah,
That's what I'll do.
slay them all.
Man, I'll tell you what, if I had more than 2 level 3 spell slots, I would take Fireball.
Man. Maybe you could craft a necklace of Fireball. Then you could have a couple free Fireballs.
Those are expensive, man.
Yeah, they are.
How much are they? Like 10k or something like that? 5k?
It's like thousands of gold per charge.
Okay.
Yeah. Several thousand. It's like it depends on the DM, but I think in
that's
the actual
fair.
book, it's like 2,000 or 3,000 per Fireball gem that you can string onto the necklace.
Okay.
Well,
I feel like you could get scrolls for cheaper, Billy.
Yeah, probably.
yeah, but I'm in a strange place where I don't use. I could read a scroll, and that's part of the reason I thought about taking the level in Wizard, is I could have a spell book, which would be nice.
It'd be cool.
Then I can learn spells.
I have something to posit to you, Donovan, after this session.
Okay.
I'm not going to bring it up right now because I don't want to sway your decision making for leveling or throughout this session. But I have something that I'm going to propose to you at the end.
I'm sure we'll both forget.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure we will. Like, it'll be Thursday when I come back around to start working on this again. Or no, I'm not DMing next week. Maybe next Thursday. Who knows? It could be 4 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to tell you about this.
Oh yeah, I'll have a character for you by Wednesday.
Cool. The plan as of right now is next week we're gonna do like some wrap up stuff for this campaign, and then some like kind of session 0. Maybe we'll roll stats or hit points or brainstorm some things for the next campaign. But
Be a nice bridge session.
and then hopefully the following week we can start. But working like 50 to 60 hours a week right now, so we'll see.
Donovan, one thing that might be nice is a campaign on D&D Beyond to join, so I can have
That's a good call.
options. Because I don't have all the sources.
So
Got, like-
Brad doesn't have to only choose from the basic 8 races.
Yeah.
well, like what's bullshit is, I own the couple physical books, but that doesn't move to the website.
I think I'm
yeah.
just gonna use the Tower of Wishes stuff
Oh
and
yeah.
just
that makes
change the
sense.
name.
Barlow's, did we have some gems that were near Corlon's? Did Buddy?
You did. I believe that Billy typed them in the general chat.
I think so.
Yeah, you just have to scroll up like 8,000 pages now.
Scroll back all of the Saturday stuff. It's wild how much a 9-hour session will
I found it. I'll type it in.
add. Yeah. Rolled dog shit for the gold values, but
Oh,
got some.
I was okay with figuring out. I added whatever 33 gold or whatever. Yeah. Oh, copper and silver too. Okay.
Yeah,
But,
these would be identifiable objects as well. You can opt to sell them if you'd like. They also would have some type of boon to them as well. All right, we're going to start with Brackle, backing up to the moment where Brackle, you and Eric both gain the benefits of Water Walk, and you're about to walk across this lake, attempting to evade some elementals that you know are somewhere, but you don't know exactly where they are, headed towards the elevator to come back up out of the Piro Barracks. Both of you roll pretty terribly, and you fall through the surface of the water that you thought you were going to stand on. And while Eric is a sea elf and under the effects of freedom of movement, he can swim up and breathe underwater really easily. You are not, and you begin to sink deeper and deeper. You start feeling what feels like fingers, but there are many of them, way more than would be on a human hand. It's like 15 or 20 fingers on these giant hands wrapping around your legs, pulling you downward into this lake. It's getting darker, it's getting colder, and you are rapidly running out of air, much faster than you would assume, much faster than you have in the past when you've held your breath at any point for whatever reason. And you look up and you meet eyes with Eric. He's up towards the top of the lake, and you see him start to make a gesture to turn back around and come down to get you, and your vision goes black, a very dark green. You just see this deep green, murky essence all around you. This is at that point. This would be where you lost sight of him, Eric. and swam back up to exit the beach. Brackle, you feel weightless for 5-10 minutes. Feel like you're floating, suspended in whatever this substance is. You can breathe, but it's labored, as if your lungs were reduced in size, or the capacity was reduced. You have to take really short, shallow breaths. You feel like you're on the verge of passing out or running out of air consistently. And as you are about to give up, as you feel that you have suffered enough and you're about to throw in the towel, you feel solid ground, or solid enough ground, below you. And as you look around, it begins to materialize, the setting of a low-lit, dingy swamp. You can tell that you're standing in water, but you're not underwater anymore. It's maybe 3-4 inches of water around your ankles. You're surrounded by bushes, seaweed, other aquatic plants, all damp. Everything feels damp. The air is almost acrid. It is so humid. The smell is pungent. It is thick. And as you're looking around, make a wisdom saving throw, Brackle.
17.
Okay. You don't hear anything right now. You do, however, see a... Do you ever play Legend of Zelda?
I've played Breath of the Wild.
Okay. So like a fairy, like a
Mhm.
Legend of Zelda fairy, the little ball of light. You see a very small, tiny, if we're going by mechanical size, sprite-like image, maybe 10 feet in front of you. And it will motion to you as if to say, "Follow me, dummy." And it will start moving away from you at a brisk pace.
Knowing I am way out of my element and there's probably nothing I can do at this point, I will follow.
Oh, also you have your clothes and your basic like living equipment. You do not have any of your magic items or weapons.
Okay.
And that includes any type of armor or AC buff as well.
Let-
So anything
Let
outside
me
of
take
like
that off.
standard clothing and shoes and things like that.
Okay.
You cannot sense your rapier.
I
You
just took it
are
all off.
you are all alone here. So as you follow this sprite through this swamp, it seems like the trees and the bushes are getting thicker. They're getting more dense, closing in on your position as you move forward, almost to the point where it gets harder to physically move forward because you're pushing branches out of the way and squeezing between bushes and things like that. It gets harder and harder to keep up with the pace of this sprite that is flying in front of you. And you follow in this manner for maybe 10 minutes. And just at the point where it feels like it's so dense, it's so insurmountable, the thickness of the foliage here. You break out into a small clearing, and you can see you're in kind of like a covered clearing area. The trees here are a little bit higher, and their branches overarch this little cleared section of swampland, almost to simulate a roof. It feels very roomy. And there are 2 stones that are shaped kind of in the way of a stool or a bench. And between the two stones is a larger stone that could simulate a table. And on one of the stones is an incredibly average looking make either a history or a nature check to see if you know what type of creature this is.
I'll do history.
Okay.
6 plus 6, 12.
Yeah, with a 12, you've been around the continent enough with the casters. You would know that this creature is a Triton.
Okay.
And he is sitting on one of the stool-shaped stones. And he'll look over at you. And he'll say, I figured you'd be here faster. Good thing I'm patient. Come sit.
I'll slowly, kind of cautiously walk over. I guess I would have been here sooner if I knew I needed to come.
And he'll chuckle at that. Is he? Does he know what time he's going to be here? I'll help him move that stuff out. Okay. Her brother's coming to pick up some baby stuff. I'll have to jump
No worries.
off for like 2 or 3 minutes here soon. And he gives the idea that he doesn't want to pose a threat to you. He clearly is a creature of great power, and he doesn't intend to use it on you unless you give him a good reason to. Also, he'll chuckle at that, and he'll say, I suppose when creating this place, I could have made the path a bit easier for you, right?
I suppose so. You obviously know who I am, but I don't think I have the pleasure of knowing who you are. Or do I know? Does this person look familiar to me at all?
He would not look familiar to you
Okay.
at all. Roll a religion check, though.
Okay. Damn, another 6. 6 plus...
That's not going to be as good, I don't think.
9.
Yeah, with a 9, you wouldn't. There is some iconography in the area, but with a 9, you would not pick up on it. He'll say, I'm not sure you would have ever been given the chance to understand who I am. But I do have a relationship with
Carlos, I think you cut out there for a while.
Oh no.
I thought it was a
What's that?
tactful choice. I do have a
Yeah.
relationship with.
So
You'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
He'll say, I believe that we both have a relationship with a mutual acquaintance you may have had an altercation with recently. One Arvantis Ilwain.
Yes. I suppose we have.
Don't worry, I won't out you. I know exactly what you did, but I'm not here to serve justice for that. In fact, hold on one second. I'm so sorry. Right in the middle of a sentence. Sorry, guys. I'm going to move a chair into a truck bed, and then I'll be right back.
No worries. I thought she said ow.
Ow!
Why do all these people love Arvantis so much?
I don't
Just-
get it.
Just a really cool guy.
I did the world a favor.
Yeah, what now that I because that was so early on in this campaign, and obviously I don't fully know the rationale behind Maybe you told me, but at the time I was still without any context and didn't retain any of it. Why did you kill him again? Like in 30 words or less? Or
To
fewer?
basically protect my identity, that I knew what Cerberus told the rest of the group, essentially, because he doesn't like me.
Okay.
So we had a
Gotcha.
meeting with Cerberus, and to basically hide from Cerberus, he disguised himself as Arvantis.
Oh.
And he was like, "Well, I got to cover my
Oh.
tracks."
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. So it was just that. It was just that instant. It wasn't like something that happened in the first campaign that made you just resent
Nope.
him.
Nope,
No,
It was
that
literally
it.
that one.
That's why I was so like
You are-
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, so pragmatic, just
hmm
void of emotion. That was
So I figured Arvantis would be with the group and he'd be like, "What? I mean, I don't know anything about this." Blah blah blah. But ended up Cerberus told me the rest of the stuff anyways. But what's done was done. But
That's great.
But Arvantis was, I don't know if you remember him. He was basically just like a Jersey guy, like from New Jersey, and just really boisterous and
Oh yeah. Because I had Arvantis in part of my for the one shot.
oh
My,
okay, cool.
my little intro one, and then we promptly left him alone at the tavern.
Right. So he comes back from the dead, right? So that was later
No,
in
it was
history.
before.
No,
Oh,
it was
okay.
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. I was thinking Billy was playing Ragnar right now. I was like, how did
I would actually
he
probably
lost
feel much
levels?
better. I would probably feel much better if I was playing Ragna instead of a tapped out paladin. I've been thinking for an entire week what to do, and I still don't know what the fuck to do.
In what sense?
Like I can justify like reacting to Visic in like a few different ways, and it's like I could justify any rationale. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like, well, what would I want to do? It's like, well, that's no fun. I would want to do if it was like clearly he would do this particular thing. It's a lot easier because it's like Teth would do this, and it's like, well, he could do this or this or this or this.
Mm-hmm. Did
Oh.
Visic visit us after we killed Corlon, or did he contact us?
It was after we came out
Oh,
of the cave.
yeah, we kind of skipped the last part, I guess.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
I looked at Roll20, but I didn't even notice that fucking Visic's right in the center.
Yeah, he had 6 people suspended in the air, and then he snapped Silgath's neck and snapped Eleanor's neck.
Whose neck?
Eleanor and
And who?
Silgath.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
So
Wait, Silgath
Silgath's already-
received no votes, right?
I don't think we were
Allegedly.
able to vote for Silgath.
Yeah, you're right.
No, he was not on that list, and I think it was the intent was he was going to die regardless.
Oh, okay.
narratively.
Good. Because I was thinking to myself, as Silgath was killed, I was like, oh, wasn't he the one that like knew my parents, and I deliberately chose to
No.
kill him off? It's like,
No.
but good. Now that I know it was out of my hands and that he wasn't an option, I feel better.
So
It
as
might
long
have
as
been one of the shady people your parents met with.
Yeah, exactly.
as long as Beth's not dead, I don't care.
That's right.
Dude,
Amen.
apparently
Beth.
everybody
This is
voted for
good.
Beth except for me. I don't give a shit about Beth.
Who did
She's
you vote
like-
for? Eleanor or Belle and somebody else? I'm guessing.
Nobody fucking voted for Eleanor, so.
Oh really?
besides me.
Wow, that's so cold, Urza.
It was a
No,
whole bunch
it's,
of like one
Oh,
vote.
you did vote for her?
No.
Okay.
Guys, go into my character sheet. Look at my cauldron.
What does your cauldron do?
Character sheet.
Crazy shit.
It's
It's
funny.
the weirdest item I've ever seen.
Sounds perfect.
Ties. Eric.
If you fill it with holy water and place the hand of a deceased creature into it, cover the corpse with 200 pounds of salt for at least 8 hours. Salt and holy water are consumed, and the creature returns to life at the next dawn.
Mhm.
Mm.
Hey, that could be useful. You got like 600 pounds of salt in your backpack.
It's the Golden Basin, as you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, I was gonna tell you, Billy. I almost voted for Eleanor, but I had played work in that one shot, so I felt like I should let him die.
Wait, say that again.
So I was gonna. It was between Warwick and Eleanor for the second choice, and the only
For the
reason,
vote.
yeah, and I really wanted to pick Eleanor, but then I had played Warwick, so I was like, no, I don't want him to die
Yeah.
because I had played him. If I had not played Warwick, I would have definitely picked Eleanor for the second.
This is the reason I gave Barlos is like, I just feel like those two characters have had the most. It's like a steady flow of like comedy like associated with them.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel like I mean Marvel's great, but I feel like we already. I told Barlos I already know that I'm gonna kill her apparently. So
No. Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Why
bad.
wait?
that was the vision.
The other thing too is that, and I don't know if it was the same way for you guys, but I asked Barlos, I was like, "Hey, is this like a me question or is this a Teth question?"
Mhm.
Because Teth 100% would have picked Eleanor, and probably Bell just because
Yeah,
of
probably Bell.
Yeah.
his the
We had to pick-
potential to work on
We had to
stuff.
pick two to save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Teth's also like, well, Bell's an artificer, but I got Gale.
That's the other justification is that,
I got a backup
having just met
artificer.
Gale again, yeah, I got a backup. But no, like the only person that's actually like, yeah, like Silgas helped us. Like a lot of people have helped us, but as far as and you guys obviously go back to campaign 1, but like Tess had a lot of exposure recently with Eleanor, so he feels like more in debt to her than anything
hmm
outside of most of these others.
What about you, as Michael?
Who, me? I
Yeah.
picked Warp and Bell.
So did you kind of answer it as
I answered it as
yourself?
me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus their siblings. Can't break them up, man.
hmm
I can't remember who I voted for sure. I think I voted for Beth and Marowell. I think if
By
Andrew,
process of elimination, we already know everyone else voted for Beth.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Although probably
I think if Andrew was voting to save, he'd probably save Marowell and Silgath wasn't on it. Marowell and I don't know. He probably would. I probably would have saved the same two. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think Marowell has a ton of information we don't know about yet, and I just think Beth is funny.
Here's
the
the
fucked
bigger
up thing is I'm thinking I'm kind of paranoid of Marwell for some reason. She said the way that you work with the casters is that you make them think that you're working for them. So it's like, is she doing that to us too? Is she gonna betray us?
Double
No.
cross.
Double cross.
She's a triple agent.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the little kid that fixes up boots for Ed Harris and Enemy at the Gates.
I haven't seen that movie. Is
Little Sasha.
that a movie or show?
Spoiler: Ed Harris kills and hangs a boy.
Who's Ed Harris?
Oh, you'll recognize Ed Harris.
And what was the movie again?
Enemy at the Gates. It's about Stalingrad.
Jude Law was in it. Ron
Oh,
Perlman,
Bob
I forgot.
Hoskins.
Johnny Hopkins.
Joseph Fiennes. Rachel Weisz. Ron Perlman.
Ronald Perlman.
So 10 out of 10, Urzok is 100% going to charge at Visic, right? Like it's going to happen. I feel it in my soul.
My love.
Yep.
My sparring partner.
Yeah, that is what they'd call him.
Yeah.
There she is.
He's gonna roar.
Urzok Eleanor.
I think
Yeah.
Jeff.
Urzok's gonna roar like he did to the Black Rider or whatever.
I'll kill you.
Oh yeah, because we did cut it like right after she died, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
I'm gonna
happened
need
after
a recap of that after we're done.
that? Okay.
Of them coming out of the cave. Billy gave me basically everything until we got out of the cave.
He is.
Thank
He'll kind of lean over the table towards you, Brackle, and like I said, he's not there to bring any justice or take you in or anything like that. He, if anything, he feels even more relaxed now that he's brought Arvantis up. He'll lean in and he'll say, "You and Arvantis are more similar than either of you thought, I think. Both of you were on a list to be watched at the time of your birth. And I have been keeping track of you since then."
How many of
Some
us
might
are
say
on this
her-
list? Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead. That's totally fine. He'll say, it varies from year to year. Names drop off, names are added. At the time that you were born, there's maybe 30, 35 names on the list. I am not a Presidium god, not even a prime deity. I have power that is limited to one realm of energy. But I'm not weak by any means. I have vision that spans the entire continent. And I've watched most of your life, Brackle. You've done well for yourself.
Thank you. I've tried to live by my standards and my guidance and done what I've thought was right. But now, recently, in the last 4 months, 6 months, how long has it been since the first tithes? Or since the tithes, sorry.
Yeah, about 3.5 months, I think.
Okay.
The break between was a couple months.
Okay. Some of those guiding principles have started to shift a bit. I seem to be rethinking not why I'm doing it, but how it should be accomplished and what the world will look like after that.
What do you know of the Battle of the Reef, Brackle? And you can make a history check for this if you'd like. There's no way that Andrew would know anything about it. So
12 plus.
Make up lore right now in this moment, Andrew.
Of course.
Yes.
W-
Yes.
Tell
Everyone
me,
knows
on
of the Great Battle of the Reef.
Dude, he's just gonna
Yes.
narrate the Gungan in a boo battle.
Yeah.
The great battle over whether Azura citizens can smoke weed or not, of course.
Battle of the Reefer.
I got an 18 history check.
An 18, this would be an event in Yanti and Triton history. There were once great cities of both species out on the west coast of Azura. And since this battle, both of those cities have largely fallen and become all but obsolete. It is very rare to see either a Yanti or a Triton out in public, not because it's frowned upon, just because so few of them exist. It was a huge battle, largely aquatic based, where both sides lost many, many lives. There is a deep seated hate between the Tritons and the Yanti in Azura. And it's something that you would have been brought up with in your training. You would have studied a lot of the tactical maneuvers used in this war. Or I guess maybe it's not a war. It's not a war compared to the Two-Face War, but the series of battles would have been studied. It is up to you to decide if an innate hatred for Tritons is something that Brackle would carry. I personally don't think so. I feel like he's much more goal oriented than that, but it's totally up to you.
How long ago was this battle in the past?
Less than a century, but
Oh.
certainly long enough that several generations of both species have kind of cycled through. So maybe like 90 years, just under, we'll say right around a century.
Okay. I don't think he would have a hatred. I think I agree with you with that. I'm just thinking as a human how long ago World War II was and World War One, and I don't hate German
Yeah.
people, right?
It's very similar to like our perception of World War
Yeah.
One
Okay.
is how it would be.
So yeah, and I'm guessing, I don't know if you intend this or not, but I'm guessing this is why. Well, maybe no, it could have been further back. I don't know the timeline, but why more of the Yanti fell out of power.
This certainly didn't help.
Okay.
I think it began for both both communities before this, and that just stoked the flames. And once they reached a fever pitch, they fought and eliminated like 50% of their societies,
And they
and that
both
just
got
pushed
weak,
them
and then
further, further
Okay.
underground.
Okay. But yeah. Okay.
And he'll say,
I know of it. Yanti studied in school. Their upbringing. I
Akalai
personally.
Harbor. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was going to say the same thing. Probably.
Go ahead.
But-
You go.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't harbor any resentment towards Tritons.
Nor do I. I'm not sure how obvious this is to you sitting across from me now. I am not fully a Triton, though I do have allegiance to them. Brackle, I have a proposition for you. I have immersed myself in Triton and Yanti culture. I have watched them rise and fall. I've watched them make great advancements and take horrendous steps backwards. The Yanti government would have you believe that their mission is your mission. They're crumbling from within, Brackle. I'd like to put something on the table right now that you can take or leave. I've saved your life. Do with that knowledge what you will. I don't ask for anything in return either way. Fall in behind me and leave the first scale behind. You will be much more successful, much more powerful. And I will help you reach your goals much faster than Seth or Zahir. That's a promise. This offer stands for the next 5 minutes. After that time, you can rejoin your friends unscathed. What do you say?
I suppose I'd like to know, maybe in a minute or two, who you are and what your goals are.
Who do you think I am? He would ask this not for you to name names, but
Yeah.
just in general as an entity. Who do you think he is?
I believe you to be a powerful force somewhere in the pantheon. Obviously, not a prime deity or such. I believe, if you've engrossed yourself in both cultures, that believe the same way that that the two rightful heirs to rule battled over nothing. For one had the sea and one had the land, and ruined what should have been. But as far as your motives, that I don't know.
Brackle, I recently had someone who was a designate for my power exit early, you could say. I Whether or not you had a hand in this directly, I won't hold that against you. Long ago, I was promised that in this year of Azurian history, a young man would rise to the top of the tides and win in my name. For a long time, I was apprehensively convinced that that man would be Arvantis. Comes from a long line of sea elf royalty. He had all the promise and the tenacity that his father could convince me of, among other powerful people. Now I believe that person is you.
So you'd like me to pick up the blade that was dropped prematurely?
Euphemisms aside, I would like you to pick up where he left off, yes.
Just answer me one question.
Certainly. Also, feel free to insight any of this.
Oh, sure. That would be smart. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think of a specific thing he said so I can, not be like, oh, is he lying?
Not to like, this is what you should do.
Yeah.
But also, it's gone a long time since somebody has incited something that I've said. Since the insight check heard around the world.
Do I feel as though when he said he's immersed himself in both cultures, do I feel that he actually has a vested interest in the Yanti and
Ooh,
Tritons?
that's not what I thought you'd ask. That's a good question.
That's what I'd like to incite. Unfortunately,
What's your insight roll?
my insight isn't very good, but I rolled well. 15 plus 3, 18.
18 versus a 24. So you can't see what his true motives are completely, but I think at the very least he is making an attempt to make you feel comfortable, and he is not being threatening at all. You get the idea that he would have very little reason to insidiously lie. Like, he's not trying to be malicious toward you. With that spread, I feel like you would at least get a good vibe from him.
I don't know what to call you, but I've spent my whole life, as you've claimed to see, appeasing people, telling them what they want to hear to get what I need done. I appreciate the pleasantries, the gifts. I do need one thing from you
Okay.
that's concrete and I know is not a ruse before I accept any of these further boons you've placed before me. Because right now I see myself sitting at a table staring at a mirror. I need to see something that this isn't all just a sham. Spin honey in my ears.
Okay. So he will stand up. He'll nod. Stand up, and you will see his Triton form begin to dissolve, and his skin start to like flay outwards. His hair starts to fall out a little bit, and he shape changes into a very large, mechanically a huge sized humanoid shark.
Okay.
The body of a man, and the head and shoulders and dorsal and fin of a great white shark. He is massive.
Okay.
And he'll say in a much deeper, kind of gravelly voice now. He'll say, "This is my true form, Breckle. The form people are frightened to look at. Much less charming. My name is Sekala, god of the reef. I operate under Talos. Was brought here at the beginning of the Presidium." And he will shift back down into his Triton form after he says that, and sit back down.
Well, what you're asking me is of no small consequence.
Certainly.
Talos, if I'm remembering correctly, basically is like a diametrically opposite of Seth, correct?
They're both. See, it's strange because in this continuity, in any other D&D book, it'll say that Talos is chaotic evil or lawful evil. I think I can't remember. It's definitely evil either way.
Okay.
And he is at worst neutral in this pantheon. Zahir and Seth are the chaotic evil gods of the Presidium, of the High Pantheon.
Okay.
So he is not the complete opposite of Zahir, but he definitely holds much different ideals,
Okay.
like vastly different.
Frankly, I believe he might just be trying to poach and get a chess piece off the board.
Oh, for
From-
sure. Yeah, yeah.
From obviously one of Talos's biggest enemies, and if I am one of these 30 names, like you say, that would be pretty big. Sorry, give me a second to think.
I will.
I'm trying to think
I'll
of
give you a while. We
Okay.
will shift back to the party, and you marinate.
Okay, because
You
I'm
decide
trying.
what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I really
Okay.
want in this next chapter to start springing big decisions on you guys that are is one or the other, and this is the first one. Technically,
Okay.
Billy got the first one, but he hasn't had to act on it yet.
All right. Yeah, there's something I want to do, but I can't think of a good compromise for it yet. But
Okay.
yes.
Yep. Think on that. We're going to shift back over to the party. The last thing that happened before we exited the session last week, you heard a loud snap behind you. Teth probably would have seen this happen, actually. If you were at least in your periphery, you would see Eleanor drop, and everybody else looks around at Eleanor as she is falling to the ground, neck twisted around. What are you doing?
Urzok is gonna turn back to Vern and Teth. And he's gonna say, there's a time to use them, it's now. I'll buy you some time. And he's gonna charge right at Visick.
Did Visick say anything like when you guys walked out of the cave? Or was it just, you said they were floating and just standing there?
Yeah, he's
He did say
say
something. It was something
I can't remember what
snarky.
he said.
Yeah,
it was
but not
really-
like I'm gonna destroy you now or anything.
Okay.
It's something about like, I'll skip the monologue for now.
Okay.
And
Oh yeah, he talked about it being here by himself. Like he's just here alone. We'll skip the
Okay.
pleasantries today. Fuck two of your friends.
Yep.
Snap.
It's like, hi, I'll skip talking. Crack.
Right.
I remember he said surprise.
Yeah.
that was what he said.
Surprise.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna fucking charge head first into Visick.
What are you? That's wild. Are you doing this with a weapon out, or are you just
Yeah. Oh yeah.
going? Okay. Attempting to make an attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll to attack. I have to get it. I don't know what I thought you guys were gonna do. I didn't.
You
have
think,
this-
Barlos? You just killed his girlfriend.
sparring partner, guys.
Well, yeah. Now she's dead now.
We've yet to cross tilts.
I
She
mean, like,
exited
I
early.
thought about this as like, obviously, I would be like, let's have a conversation. What the hell's going on? But Urzok's
Our pommels have not touched.
attacks. Yeah, sure. Let me check something. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna do 3 attacks.
Okay.
Natural 20 for the first one.
Ooh.
Come on, baby.
Nice. Yeah, that hits for sure.
Next one was a 19, and then a 17.
So just the first one hits.
Okay.
But what a hit it was. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a 1 on my damage dice.
What a way to start.
Oh no.
Oh, poopy.
8 force damage.
Explain the attack. How are you physically attacking him? Because he is not going to attempt to move out of the way or anything. He's just eating it.
He's not. Urzok's not really attacking to, despite the crit. He's not attacking to. He's trying to kill Visick. He's trying to buy Verdant Teth time.
What the? These are
But
orcs?
he feigns an overhead strike, and then when that first one misses, he drops it, and then the blade reappears in his hand for another backwards up slash, which also misses, and then he flanks around to the side, and with the shield in his hand and two hands, just plunges it right through Visick's back.
As your sword enters, so you're behind him, right?
Sure.
Like on the side, like side back. As you go to hit him in the side, like the back of the shoulder or whatever, he just appears facing you, almost like time stopped for a moment, and he turned to face you directly, and the sword still goes in. You still make the strike. It crits. It enters into his body, and he is going to grab onto the hilt of your sword with one of his hands and onto your arm with the other one and hold them in place. Make athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
30-20.
Nice. Okay, so you can pull away if you'd like. He's gonna do everything he can to just hold it there. The sword's still inside of his body. He is holding it right there, and he's gonna attempt to pull you in closer to his face. So do with that what you will. Next action is on you.
I'm going to release the sword and then escape his grip, and then make the sword reappear back in my hand, so it's no longer inside of him.
Okay.
And then I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
And going to focus some arcane energy in the back of my throat and unleash Rhymes Binding Ice on him.
Nice.
It's a con 17 save.
He will counterspell it.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
He is going to move in on you, and I need another athletics or acrobatics. But he is going to try and grab you magically this time. It's a much harder.
It's a natural 20 for a 30.
Okay.
Jesus.
Natural 20 doesn't not count, but his modifier for Arcana is 22. So we'll see how this fares.
Oh no. Jesus.
Wow.
So he's not attempting you again, just like kind of like Brackle. He gives you the immediate idea that he is not trying to kill you. He is very purposefully sparing your life currently, but he is essentially force hold you as the Rhymes Binding Ice starts to leave your mouth. He'll just shut it off and pull his other hand out in front and just hold you up, and he's going to lift you up 5 feet off the ground, and you are hovering there. Not injured. He's not attempting to attack you, but he is keeping you in place. And he'll look back at Teth and Vern as he's holding you there, Urzok. For the sake of mechanics, you are technically grappled and restrained right now. He'll look back at Vern and Teth, and he'll say, "Please, use whatever you had prepared."
Yes, Teth will step forward. Here.
Vern will stay just behind Teth's shoulder. So advance, but not as bravely or as far.
It's nice to see you again after all these years, K-13. And Mr. Wellaby, always nice to see somebody of your family lineage. Well-timed bark. That was good.
Yeah, that's a good part.
That was actually Vern's response. It's just... My pedigree, you could say.
Would Teth have known? Would Teth have known another name for Visick from so long ago?
You would know that he went predominantly by his last name, so people knew him by the moniker Visick. And when he went underground, he largely went by Robert because people did not associate that with his station before. Now he kind of interchanges both because he's about to start coming back publicly.
Yeah. It's been some time, Visick.
It certainly has.
Is everybody else that was being held by him previously still being held, like Work and Bell and Beth? They're just levitating.
Yep, they're about 15 feet off the ground, except for Selgath.
Vern will say, "Why did you hurt our friends?"
Visick will actually look back up at Urzok at this point, who I don't know if restrain or grapple makes it so you can't speak, but you can still speak. You're just being held.
I'm gonna punch him in the face.
You're okay. Yeah, roll to attack at disadvantage.
$27.
Yeah, you can punch him in the face. Roll for damage.
6 points of damage.
Good. He will he will turn to you to speak, and is met with a fist in the face. And he'll just take it, and he'll kind of shrug it off a little bit and just push you further back gently. You'll just fly further up in the air, about 10 feet back away from him, Urzok. He'll say, "You've just gotten too close to what I want. Obviously, whether you've discovered it at this point or not, you have helped me a great deal by uncovering these orbs. I'd always wondered if they had been real. If I had had friends that helped me like you guys have, I may have found them decades, centuries ago. Who knows? But now I know how to find the rest of them. And you have started me on that path. So I appreciate you. Now I just don't need you anymore. When I saw you outside of the caster compound the night the king died, I assumed you would scatter, go your separate ways, stop becoming a problem. Instead, you've gone the opposite direction and become more of a problem than I'm comfortable with dealing with. And you need to begin to fall. If that is one by one or all at once, so be it. That's for you to decide."
Can I insight as to, did he say the word friends as if he's had a true friend, or if he's just
Interesting
empty,
question.
like
yeah, that's
Uh,
intriguing.
empty word for him?
Does he look at
Yeah.
Flynn when he says it?
He you can both roll insight if you'd like.
Damn it! I rolled a
9.
Oh. Vern, you're right next to Eric. If you want to
I
guide
rolled
him
an
a little bit,
11.
I
Yeah,
will allow you to roll at advantage if Vern is kind of analyzing him too. That would be fine with me.
Yes, I certainly am.
I gotta stop using this dice that I got for Christmas. That shitty
Christmas dice are never the best dice.
Christmas dice. 20.
Okay. So he'll roll too. What is his deception? I still had deception up for Sekala. And that's not the same modifier. Deception actually isn't great. You that's a really interesting thing to pinpoint. You would get the idea that might actually be the part of this little spiel that comes from the place of most vulnerable truth. You get the idea that a lot of it is true or it's rooted in truth. But that part specifically, the part where he talks about you guys being at an advantage specifically for finding the orbs because you were together, because you share friendship or share trust or whatever, is something that he less so has never experienced, more so has not experienced since far before the casters, and he misses it greatly.
Okay.
What do you want with the orbs?
Well, I'm not just going to stand here by myself and give you my entire plan, Mr. Wellaby.
Maybe we share a vision.
Maybe we do. I'm sure that whatever your plan is with that red orb, or Death's plan with that white orb, whatever you have in store or in mind for their use, is very nice. I'm not sure we have the same overall idea.
So you're not into fast trains.
Oh, I want so badly to make that part of his. That's the thing that breaks him. He's like, oh wait, actually,
Always trains
that
with-
sounds
Wait,
super
you
dope.
too? That's
I do love a good train.
You mean those automobiles that go on tracks?
Oh,
Yeah.
iron horses.
Yeah. Back when I was creating civilization out west in the United States as a California panhandler, I took an interest to the railways.
I call them fast metal penises.
To that, he will say, I apologize, Mr. Willoughby. I have no interest in whatever you just said to me.
well, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but you're a little bit outnumbered here.
Numbers are
Roger.
subjective. Roger.
Because I don't know him. So I'll pretend like I said the wrong name because I really don't know this guy.
And he'll say, am I? And you will see
Oh no.
let
Don't
me
touch Philip.
let me check my
No,
numbers real quick.
No. I'm not trying to.
You
Lose
will
another one.
see. Um, oh,
So why does Flynn
You
have an
will
X and not Eleanor? Did
you will see Warwick's body
I? Oh,
rise up and move forward towards the group, and Visick still holding all 7 of you. He's going to look from Vern over to Urzak and up to Warwick, who is totally conscious, by the way. They're all muted but awake, watching this whole thing.
Okay, Vern's gonna go. Okay, and he'll take his red orb out, and he won't like toss it to Visick or anything, but he'll put it down by his feet and just go like this. Let's not do anything rash.
Is this an offering?
It is well, it wasn't too hard to get this orb, so we're not terribly attached, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, Urzak, I don't know if you can take him.
Urzak is restrained, hanging in the air.
Right.
He will. Visick will snap his. So he has one hand.
Snap! No.
Holding, no, not snap. No,
Okay.
not snap. Not snap. Sorry. He has one hand holding Urzak up in the air. He will snap the fingers on his other hand, and you will see Warwick and Bell blink out of existence. They are teleported away. They are gone.
They are also dead.
They're banished with Lady Tephany on her demiplane. And he'll use the same hand to point at the orb, and you'll see it shoot from the ground by your feet up into his hand, and he will just palm the orb.
This guy's taking what he wants anyway.
Can I do something as he's trying to do that? Can I Misty Step in the way of the orb?
Ooh.
Shoots through you and blows your body up.
Urzak and Eleanor reunited in the next one.
Okay. Yeah. Make an acrobatics check.
So good.
And a dexterity saving throw, please.
So 5.
I was actually thinking the same thing too, but
because I love this idea. I don't know how well it's going to work though.
How much do I get from being within 10 feet of Teth? 3
your
or 4?
saves. Your
Yeah.
saves it'd be a +5.
Great.
If it was a save.
Ooh, nice. So you miss the orb. As you're misty stepping, you're just too late. Whizzes past your head. But with a 19, you're able to kind of like barrel roll away from it, so it does miss your body. So you are not. It's not making contact with you at all. So you incur no injuries, but you are now misty stepped on the ground right in front of him, and he's holding an orb of the Presidium.
Great.
I'm just gonna say I was planning on trying to attempt the same thing, but I didn't want to cut you off.
So I will.
Because it was
How do you
right
want
in
to
front
step
of
into
Vern.
each other?
How do you want to do that? Because there is a chance of collision there that you may have to.
Not a misty step. It was on the ground in front of Vern,
Mhm.
and the idea was to reach over and pick it up.
Okay.
Once he started to motion towards it. So yeah, more of a reflex or grab. I don't know what you want to call that.
I'll ask for the same 2 rolls: acrobatics and then a dex save. See if it burns
Historically-
you on your.
Historically great at acrobatics as well.
Hmm.
And you said dex save?
Yes, please. Nice. Yeah. So I will say, as you both attempt to intercept this orb, Urzak, there's nothing for you to intercept. As you misty step past everything, you see the orb leave the ground, but Teth secures it in his hand, and with a 21, it hadn't gotten enough chance to pick up velocity enough to do any damage at that point. So Teth, I'm going to move you over here.
Okay.
And you are now standing in front of Vern, facing Vern, holding the orb of the Presidium. Coralon's orb.
Would that have been the equivalent of an action?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Would you allow me to use a bonus action?
Yeah.
While we're in this nice little Congo line, while I'm facing away from Visick. You know I'm going to do Barlos.
Are you going to use your prayer beads?
Yeah. Does
Just
that
remember,
get
it takes a minute to phase into the cloud form if you want to use that one.
So the casting time is normally a minute, but through the pair beads, it's a bonus action to cast. It takes a minute to come back, to phase back in.
Okay.
And its range is 30 feet. Up to 10 willing creatures.
Good call before, Trent. I heard you, but I didn't process that anybody said that until now. With the X on Flynn instead of Eleanor.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I was afraid I'd actually missed something, like a story point. Though.
You're like, no, not Flynn.
He's already died once, not again.
So you can get everybody.
Yep.
And that does not count Eleanor or Silgath.
Nope. Somebody pulled out an orb, and I feel really bad about leaving them. So, or attempting to.
I'm guessing there's nothing more to hear out from Visick. We're gonna just try to. I mean, now that we know he's threatened to kill somebody else, well, obviously this is not a conversation worth having, I guess. So
Here's the thing. I personally would love to have a conversation with him. Things kind of escalated though pretty quickly.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think Robert with an orb of Presidium is anything we want.
Yeah. So that was why I was thinking, because trust me, I had another plan on trying to save some of the dead people, but unfortunately they are no longer willing creatures. So there's not a whole lot I can attempt to do with them.
If anybody can cast teleport somehow, then you can use them as objects. You can take.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I thought that was the whole thing from Lost Mines, was that you can't teleport objects.
You can't teleport
I thought we decided
unconscious creatures because they can't be willing.
Can I?
I thought they
Carlos?
physically had to. I thought it had to
You
be
can
something
change it. You're the DM. It doesn't matter. But
physically decide to go with you, like something like this, where they would physically have to transform and use movement to fly with you. Obviously not.
no,
But
it's
if you're like touching them and
ability,
teleporting with them.
Yeah, it's
Can
the
I,
ability to give consent kind of thing.
Go ahead.
Can I? Okay. While the whole grabbing of the orb save is happening, can I try to subtle spell charm Visick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
What's the save?
Um, it's high, but I'm sure he's very wise and just
Wisdom.
overpowered. So
Okay.
hang on, let's see. It's a 18 wisdom save.
Okay. He has a plus 13 modifier. So
Well, I mean,
there's a chance. There's a chance.
but not.
There's no chance. No chance.
since it was subtle spell, does he know I tried to do that just now? Or
No.
Okay, good. All right. It's like nothing happened then.
I guess
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
as much as I don't want to try to end this conversation, I think Teth would reach for his prayer beads and pretty much going like almost reacting before his body has a chance to think about it, right? Knowing how powerful Visic is, clear demonstration of power, and Teth knowing, having been hunted, that sometimes it's just fleeing is the option, right?
Yeah. Also, as while you're doing this, just like in this area of time, all four of you are spellcasters. Make an Arcana check. All four of you.
Maybe it's all an illusion.
One of the other 5 options I had thought about was casting Divine Sense, but holy shit.
Woo!
Ooh, nice.
Get fucked.
Dang. So Teth and only Teth will know, and this may actually contribute to this decision as opposed to other decisions you could have made. You would be able to tell that holding just one of these creatures up in the air down here, as well as ending Stilgath's life and Eleanor's life, would be considered an act of concentration.
Yeah. That makes sense. That was actually kind of what I was thinking whenever I asked if they're all still being held, like the other creatures.
So, yeah, I mean, speaking mechanically, like in game terms, Teth would understand that Visic can concentrate on at least 10 things at a time.
Yeah.
Because he was holding 7 creatures and then killed 2 of them at the same time, and held and restrained Urzak and went to get the orb, all in tandem.
Yep. Just
So
like
he's a physical force, but that is nothing compared to the type of mental force he is.
pretty much the summary is we don't want that smoke.
Right? Yeah. So let him cook by himself.
So yeah, I think with that aiding as well, it's just, sometimes you have to make hard decisions, right? Teth doesn't want to leave the 2 people who were just killed. But, he's basically focused. The main focus is these orbs, and it's just, kind of like Billy was saying, just fucking absolutely not. You gotta at least try to get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna grab that airwalk prayer bead.
Nice. So you 4, Flynn, Marawil, Philip, and Beth are all enveloped in wind and clouds, and you start to disapparate from
So you're
physical.
talking about
Go ahead, Rick.
decisions.
Mhm.
As they were misty stepping, I also want to misty step.
Okay.
I'm being restrained and grappled though, so. But I
I
can
don't
misty
think
step.
you are.
You
Are
are?
you?
You're not.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
No, you're not. Just Urzak.
So I guess I'll just save my spell slot and move over towards Eleanor's body.
Uh
I want to cut off her hand.
huh. Okay.
You know?
I know exactly what you're doing, and nobody else does, and this is wild that you're choosing to use this right away. Yeah, make a what kind of weapons do you have on you, Eric?
I've got a like utility knife for sure.
I don't know if that's gonna do the trick.
I have the rapier I just picked up.
You do have the rapier. Rapiers are
Uh,
not sharp though.
They're very sharp, but they're for
They're
stabbing.
thrusting.
right, yeah. The blade is not sharpened.
Would you think fast enough to grab one of Eleanor's axes and cut her own hand off?
I suppose she does have. She has a big axe and she has 2 hand
Her-
axes.
Throwing axe, yeah.
Make a This is great. Make a sleight of hand check at advantage. Because a lot of other things are going on, and you're kind of behind Flynn, so I'll give you advantage on that.
Mhm.
Then make an athletics check after that. So sleight of hand at advantage to grab the axe, and then athletics to see how well you're gonna chop her hand off.
Okay.
What a wild move, Eric. Okay, yeah, I'll allow 16. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Hand.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Brad?
16
Swear
slice
to
of hand.
God.
It's what you guys should have done to Ogre.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
Just take a
You-
piece of.
Oh,
Also,
no.
So Beth's not dead yet, right? Or wait,
Right.
no. Oh, you're cutting Eleanor's hand off, right?
yeah.
Oh,
that a
okay.
straight-
I was like, I was thinking Beth in my
He's
head. I was
not
like,
cutting. He's not cutting.
is this
Eleanor's
a-
hand off.
Beth is alive.
Was
And
that
without-
a straight athletics roll or advantage? Probably just straight.
Straight.
right? Yeah.
Straight.
-1.
And without saying what it is this a special Eric thing that he's gonna do, or is this
Wait,
like a
whose hand
D&D
are you
thing
cutting
that-
off? Eleanor's?
Eleanor's hand.
Eleanor's.
Okay, I thought it was Beth in my head. I was like,
Okay.
you're cutting
'Cause-
off Beth's hand, and
'cause
she's
here's what I'm
alive,
thinking.
like,
My first guess, since you're the plant guy, is I
Say
pick the hand in like a pot of soil and it like being like baby Groot and it just grows into another Eleanor after like
you're very close. You're
a
very
couple
close.
chapters. Oh, is that a thing? Is that okay?
You have the right idea of why he's doing it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is also a D&D thing, not just a Eric special ability thing.
Yes.
Okay. See, I wish I just knew more about
Eric
all the different
wild
spells that are out
shapes,
there.
so he can actually just bite the hand off.
You know,
And you have it in your mouth.
stupid
then.
axe.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cut it with this axe, like literally.
Oh yeah, you better take Eleanor's axe.
So with a 16 sleight of hand, you successfully get the axe. With a -1 athletics, you go to swing. Visick will see you, and he's going to hold your hand in place. With a -1, you don't even get an attempt. You were too slow on the downswing.
Okay.
So you still have her axe, but he's going to push you back from her.
Can I
And
wild shape into the tiger?
yeah, go for it.
I got those back after the short rest.
Okay.
So is he holding me, or can I make another
No,
attempt?
he's not holding you. He just pushed you back a couple feet. He just got
okay.
you away from her body.
So I'm gonna do a like a bite attack on the hand.
All right. Just because you rolled a -1, and I kind of feel bad for you at this point, go ahead and reapproach as a tiger and try and bite
Are
it.
you gonna apply skill check fatigue?
Uh,
Your
unless you
household?
can convince me on a skill that's not athletics.
And a skill that's not that fun.
Nature. He's a tiger.
I would also accept medicine to bite in the right spot, but as a tiger, you don't get the benefit of your herbalism.
Could I? Okay, I
Right,
have a question,
okay.
and only if this would play. So now that I saw him trying to cut off Eleanor's hand,
Definitely doing medicine.
This is wild, by the way. I had no idea this was gonna happen.
and
Continue.
to make
Not
it
rolling once.
would it give him advantage on his
But
biting
so
tiger
what
head
is-
thing if I were to use reduce on Eleanor and make her a little smaller so he has less fleshy bits to bite through?
I would we can retcon if you make a perception check, Vern, to see if
Okay.
you catch on to what Eric is doing with the axe.
Okay, sure, yeah. Oh, what's a +0 on perception? Great.
Eh,
Nope, no idea.
no. Sorry, man.
Not meant to be, guys. She's just fucking dead. Let's just leave her.
Vern's like, Eric, she's already gone.
Gods have spoken.
Leave her behind. Leave her behind. Yeah, with an 11, I would say that you don't quite make it. You don't quite make it. You make contact. You just pick the wrong part of her arm to bite down on, and the bite doesn't get clean through. And Visick at this point is just gonna teleport you back over here. He's gonna shoot you back across the map. 2 strikes.
Tigers
Third
get,
one, he just power word kills you.
Tigers get a claw and a bite attack.
All right, make a claw attack.
Listen, we really want Eleanor.
I need to stop
her
rolling
hand.
this one.
Yeah, man.
Medicine check, is that right, or is it to hit?
No, just make a claw attack.
Okay. $11.
That does not hit. That does not hit. Too low. Sorry, man. It was a really good idea, though. And I'll let you explain that to the party later. I would like to watch Eric in character explain why he was trying to cut Eleanor's hand off.
Can't succeed all the time.
I know. That's too bad. So at this point, all of this happening within the same, 12 seconds or so, you are now at a point where Teth is taking out his prayer bead. Are you prepared to cast Windwalk?
Yes.
Okay. You start to dissolve, and you are filled with exciting energy, and you are incorporeal. You can fly at the speed of the wind.
Yeah. I mean, Teth would just start flying straight north, just getting the fuck away, and hoping people follow.
Philip and Flynn will follow you immediately. Beth and Mara are kind of they will follow. They just take a second to kind of have a final moment with Silgath. If this is the last time they will see him, they both have very long, decades-long relationships with him. And you'll see Beth even because this breaks their binding from Visick. So Beth actually will just go down to his level. And she can't touch him. She's incorporeal, but she'll just place a hand on his chest. You can't hear what she says, but you imagine it's some sort of prayer of her deity, or possibly a deity of his. You don't know. And she and Mara will launch off the ground together and fly after you. Eric, Vernon, Urzak, what are you guys doing?
I just want to point out, I wonder how they feel. Silgath was like one of their best friends, and we tried so hard to get Eleanor's body and and we just ignored Silgath. Like no one made any efforts.
Oh
I
shit!
suppose to be
grab
fair,
him.
Stilgath was behind Visick, so it was much easier to get to Eleanor.
That's
That
true.
is true. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're turning into vapor, and now we can decide whether we follow or if we do something before. Or-
The options of anything other than flying away at this point are pretty slim because you can't
Mhm.
touch anything.
Right.
You and all of your equipment are incorporeal, so you go through any other physical objects that aren't like walls and stuff. So
Okay.
your option is flying in a direction of your choice.
Yeah, I'd follow the group. Like,
Urzak and Eric.
I'm gonna turn into the vapor, the gas that we are.
You're also still a tiger.
You're a spirit animal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Gas tiger.
Tiger of the wind.
I would
Uh,
just commit this scene to my memory. I don't know. It's kind of traumatic for Eric, so
Do you have
up and away.
do you have keen mind?
No, not
Defeat keen mind.
specifically. No.
Make a wisdom check.
Okay.
Just roll wisdom.
So add my fucking why?
Uh-oh.
Six. So I add my +5.
Oh, that's cool looking.
You
It's
rolled
time-
another
time for new
one?
dice.
Yeah.
You
Roll
rolled
again.
3 once in
Roll
a
again.
row.
Yeah.
So that's 1 in
Another one.
20. That's 1.
Use
one in
use digital
8,000.
dice. Roll in Roll20 right now. A
1 in
wisdom
Yeah.
check.
8,000, now 20
Yeah, it's
times
time to
8,
crucify those
2,
dice.
That's 1 in 160,000 chance to roll it 4 times in a row.
If you roll a 1 on roll 20, I'm fucking leaving.
That's campaign over. Visick wins.
If you roll another one digitally right now, he's gonna power word kill all
thank
of you.
God.
With a 17, you take just enough. You find the sweet spot between safety and the information that you want to retain. You can see the gash on Eleanor's arm where you tried to save her. You can see Silgath's body, and you remember the way he looked and the way he was laughing and joking around the first time you met him walking out of the woods before guiding you back to Mir for the first time. You remember him talking about his daughter and how despite his worry of where she was and her well-being, he was openly trying to comfort you all in spite of all that. And you kind of attribute those things as you're seeing them laying there instead of taking this scene in as the way to remember them. And then you are able to fly away. Urzak.
Urzak's just gonna face Visick and say, "You can't run from justice forever, Visick. You will be judged, and the scale will fall heavy upon your sins."
Son, I've been judged so many times throughout my life, I almost welcome it now. Bring me your worst, Urzak. Carry on.
Urzak will turn tail and fly away.
All right, I'm going to let you guys decide where you're going for a minute and return to Brackle Bath. Sekala is waiting for an answer, Bracklebath. It's been a couple minutes now. He's a man of his word. He's giving you your 5 minutes. He's not trying to rush you. He hasn't said anything to you outside of the questions you've asked. He is waiting patiently.
I've not said anything for those couple minutes and just been thinking. Finally, knowing the 5 minutes is coming to a close, Breckle speaks up and says, I've spent my entire life working towards a single goal. While power helps attain objectives, power without use towards your goal is worth less than a copper. End my life if that is your want, because abandoning my life's work and goal for someone else's will is as good as death. If your intentions truly do align, or if our intentions truly do align, make it known to me and let the message let the words you speak not twist in the way gods commonly do. After that, you will have my answer.
Interesting. That's very insightful. What an unexpected, well thought out response. I appreciate your candor. I ask one thing, though, as you said, gods are often deceitful. How is it you would like me to prove myself without you automatically assuming the worst?
Can you share memories?
As you say that, a huge smile spreads across his face. Say, I have many memories to share, gladly.
Share
Where
some
would you
that
like to start? We have 1 minute and 15 seconds.
tell me some of your intentions and share some memories of your past, of you acting on those.
I'll share 2 memories. One from my past and one from another's. And then I will expect your answer. And as he says that, the trees and bushes and swampland around you begin to dissolve and fade out. And you're still sitting on the stones. The table is still in front of you, but everything around you is changing. To a scene that you recognize very well. You recognize it immediately. You know it very well. It is the chambers where you would train as a young inductee. You are sitting still on the stone slab, but it's as if you're sitting in a desk in the classroom. To your left and to your right and behind you, you see classmates, other students that you still know by name. If you ran into them now, you would recognize them immediately, and you would be on at least cordial terms. These are people that you came up with. You would recognize that you are not necessarily sitting as a part of the group. This is a memory where Brackle was not present. He shows you a scene where the instructor of this class is projecting illusions on the wall. You could tell that they are like battle tactics. They're different positions and structural things that could be implemented in war. And as he's speaking about these, he is actively showing. Everybody's like represented by a symbol, like a snake head or whatever counts as one person, and there's a separate symbol, a snake head with a sword across it that represents inductees into the first scale. That you would know would represent people that are sent out to infiltrate. He is squarely talking about you and a few chosen others. And he will say something out loud to the class, extremely derogatory towards you and the other 2 or 3 members of your infiltration group, and has the class repeat after him. And he does this 5 or 6 more times, and the class repeats after him every single time. And as this presentation is wrapping up, what on the surface looked like just tactical battalion positioning and things like that, basic war games, it is actually a plan to go into battle with the infiltrators, circle you, and betray the 3 of you and kill you. And as that kind of plays out, it dissolves again. And Sekala is just looking at you. He's not saying anything. He's trying his best to not be a judgmental entity. And then you see a much brighter area come out. It's a nice sunny day. It's on a beautiful beach. The sun is shining, no clouds. The ocean off the coast of this beach is beautiful and blue and clear. And you see Sekala meeting with a very tall, well statured, well built sea elf. Make a history check, Crackle.
15.
You would recognize this from your studies to be Arvanitis. He is royalty in city I haven't named yet, Azura. And you would know that he has a lot of influence throughout the continent. You also know that he has had 7 sons, the last of which was Arvantis. Whether or not you knew that before you killed him is up to you. Maybe you just didn't make that connection until right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows the 2 of them speaking together. Arvanitis reveals himself to be a member of the Knife. He expresses to Sekala his thoughts on what an ideal Azura would look like. And Sekala agrees with a lot of that, and you'll see Sekala kind of wave his hands in the air and produce a very finely made trident and hand that over to Arvanitis. And this is a trident that you would recognize as being used by Arvantis in the first arena fight of the Tithes.
Okay.
And then things dissolve back in, and you are back in the swamp, sitting across from Sekala.
So you align with the Knives.
I do.
And just to refresh Andrew, their, like you said a couple times, their objective is to protect the future, basically, of Azura.
More or less, yes.
In what respect?
Providing extra protective measures for future generations of Azurians, both educationally and physically.
Do I know what their future looks like as far as like? Obviously, they oppose the casters, but do they just want to just want it to be anarchy where everybody kind of governs themselves, or what?
They would want to break down the governmental structure that is in place right now, and essentially insert a council of sorts in its place. So no more monarchy, top-down rule.
Mhm.
They are interested in making, and they obviously know that it also is not a perfect system. But they would want something that has at least 6 or 7 equal deciding members at the top to check each other.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Still, I don't think he's told me his name yet.
I thought I did, but maybe I
Oh.
didn't. He'll introduce himself as Sekola.
Sekola.
I think he did when he changed into the shark.
Okay,
Sekola, god of the reef.
that's my bad. Well, Sekola, it's not easy to say, but I suppose I'll take you up for your offer. Although I don't know what type of binding this is. If something seems amiss and you stray from what you've shown to be your objective, I will find a way to tear down everything that you want to build.
Dang. Strong words to a god. He will produce a small. It looks almost like a water droplet or a tear droplet made of glass or crystal, and kind of it just appears in his hand, and he'll hand it down to you, or he'll just set it on the table. He won't even assume that you would take it from his hand. He'll set it on the table. And he'll say, "All I need from you now is your word. I don't expect anything more. If you ever want to reach out and expand our relationship, that is always on the table. Please take this and reach out to me anytime."
Thank you. You have been kind.
Hold on one second.
Yes, I figured. This is a juicy episode.
Mhm.
Super juicy.
I-
Above board, the other reason I never use Airwalk is because it really like stops people from doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
I couldn't take the whole body, could I?
I don't know.
With
That
one walk?
was
Yeah, I know she becomes an item or
Yeah.
that. But we're back to the like teleport and
Right.
unconscious
I
and
think I
conscious.
can
Right?
as an item, but right.
Right.
if she's
Yeah.
dead, she's an object. So
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even imagine how. I mean, all of you guys are for sure mad, but I can't imagine how mad Urzak is right now. And well, first of all, on the small spectrum, Eleanor, obviously, just because you guys got along really well. But
I mean, it's just
Silgath,
killing innocent people. Yeah.
yeah. But on top of that, Silgath is your biggest connection and knowledge source for the girl, for Shaw.
Yep.
I mean, for all of us, but
Yeah.
like that's kind of been your largest path. So, jeez.
Silgath was also the one who manipulated all that crazy, extra, fucking crazy shit like magic that he had.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? When he took us to the graveyard.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And I wonder how much of that is the whole rebirthing and birthing process of Dampier was.
So you're asking whether he had powers before?
Oh, if he was like
He was-
the
he used to
the
be
father
a
of all of this happening.
He used to be a
Yeah, I'm
scientist
wondering-
in his first life, I guess.
I'm wondering how much of that ties directly to him, or like if
Oh,
somebody,
if it'll damage the vampire now
yeah,
as a whole,
yeah, yep,
that would be
the
interesting.
actual the actual culture of them.
Because if I'm not forgetting, they basically have the second life, but once they die, that time it's fully done, right? Or we haven't found out. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we know that or not.
Okay.
Because one of the, ironically, I was going through my resurrection spells. Go figure. And Revivify doesn't call out anything in particular. It just says if the target has died within 1 minute, you can bring him back to life. But I started digging into the scroll I found. I found a scroll of Raised Dead.
Okay.
And it specifically says, and the context is kind of strewn because of damp here, but it says on Raised Dead that they cannot be undead. But
Okay.
I think that's more in reference to like,
Zombies.
yeah, more common undeath, right?
Yeah.
Like a white or a ghoul.
Okay.
But I mean,
DM
they're
has set precedent by saying undead, like when I was trying to heal Silgath and stuff, if it was saying it doesn't work on undead, then he's consistently ruling that it
Oh, was he?
undead.
Yeah, so it would not. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that would be the case with Raised Dead. So I was already looking at
Potential.
that, and I was like, okay, Revivify, which is very specific. It's a minute.
Right.
I assume Brad was looking at Reincarnate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
Which,
at the basin that I have.
Oh.
which is, I assume it's pretty similar. I don't know if it's the exact rule set of Reincarnate where you get put in a different body, but that's kind of what I was thinking too. It mimics. The other opportunity that I potentially would have had, but there wasn't time to do it, was I actually did prepare Gentle Repose.
That extends it for like 10 days or something, or 3 days or something like that.
Yeah, but the other weird thing is that
Cover the corpse. We would have needed the whole thing anyway.
where is it? It specifically, it says for the duration, the target is protected from decay and can't become undead. So I don't know how that would have reacted with an undead.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I was like, that was a fucking toss up too.
You
And
just
I only
made
have one.
You made them fresh again.
Yeah, make them fresh, but they're still dead.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry,
You're good,
Andrew,
bud.
that your stuff keeps getting interrupted.
You're all good.
He had a weird day today. He was up for 9.5 hours straight because he was wired and wouldn't take a nap. So
And now he's getting fussy.
Yeah, now he's all fucked up. Yeah.
No worries.
Where were we? Where did we leave off? Oh, he
he-
gave you
he
the
gave-
glass.
Tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, he'll explain without going into too much needless in-character exposition. Once per day, and I'll add this to your character sheet. You can attempt to make contact with Sekula if you'd like.
Okay.
There is each consecutive day that you use it. The first time is 100% guarantee that you will get through to him.
Okay.
And each consecutive day after that you use it, it goes down by 20%. So you have to hit roll a D100. Like day 2, you have to roll 21 or above, 41 or above, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Consecutive days. If you use it 5 days consecutively, you cannot use it again for 30 days. But I will write all that out and give that to you in your inventory officially over the next however many days. I don't know.
That's cool.
I thought I was going to have all of the other items done on Friday, and they're still not done. So we'll see how that goes. But that is what he will posit to you. Things for you to consider.
Mhm.
You now have an open and willing warlock patron. If you would like your level 14 to be warlock, you can take
Okay.
that as an option. You certainly don't have to. I'm not pressuring you to do so, but he is opening himself up for you to do that.
Okay.
And as you take the tier, you dematerialize. Everything around you starts to fade, including your body and Sekola's body. And you are transported back to wherever your party is deciding to go, which we will find out in a moment. You're just going to
I just like
bamf
come.
onto the ground. Yeah.
You appear in
I
front of
come
Visick
back as
here.
like as a human, and they're all like smoked. I'm like running as fast as I can. What the fuck?
Sorry, wrong door.
Right. Oh, this cave? I didn't mean to come out of this cave entrance. I'll just go back down there real quick.
Yeah, just go back down the hole.
Yeah, I think we
When in
missed
doubt,
something.
go
Some
back down
objects
the hall.
in those jail cells. Gotta take a look again.
So we'll skip back to the party here. What is your destination? Where are you planning to go as a unit of
I mean,
aerial smoke clouds?
how much ground can we cover? Because I feel like is going back to, well, I guess Mir seems like the right choice, but it's also really close to where we are, and we have what we came for in this area. But I'm sure Beth will be very cranky if we drag her to some other city. So here you are, Beth. Happy to help you.
I assume we're
Without
going Mir.
the guarantee of Warwick and Bell being in the same place that you are, Beth would strongly want to go back to Mir, because right now all of the citizens are unprotected.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
back to
idea
Mir.
was, whether it's like straight back to Mir or it's like, hey, we fly north 5 minutes, like have a talk on the way there, and then kind of shoot back down, right?
Yeah. Who's gonna lead? Is Teth? Are you still in front? I'm assuming.
Unless somebody was like, hey, I'll take the charge. It was more of a, I always forget that we can converse. It was more of a, hey, like we're getting the fuck out of here initially, but he is
Yeah.
he's not opposed to somebody being like, hey, I'll take it. You fall behind. I'll take the lead.
What would anybody else like to do? Would anybody else want to take the lead or have a preference where you are in the flying order?
I'll be near Beth.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume one of the townies would probably know best how to get back.
In that case, it's just Beth, so she will be up towards the front.
Okay. I'll be
Okay.
alongside Beth. I think someone should be steering Philip. Poor Philip's had a really big day,
Oh God.
and now he's vapor.
No idea what's going on. Now he's made of vapor.
This is fucking crazy, guys.
Oh, my body is gone.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
show him the ropes. Yeah.
All right. Could all of you make a survival check, please?
Love that.
Urzak.
Urzak's head's in a different place right now. He's not.
I feel like you rolled like shit today, Billy.
I had like
natural 20s off the front.
yeah.
I don't, but man, the party really could have used that 22.
It's like, oh, he comes back and he's like, oh, I got this. Don't worry. I know exactly where we are.
So you beat us there.
Yeah, he just materializes me wherever you're going.
Too bad Silgath the Ranger and Eleanor the Survivalist are the ones that died.
Yeah, two fucking bad Barlows.
Yeah, isn't that a shame?
Only there
This
were
was
things
his-
to do with NPCs besides kill them. I mean,
That's his
Man.
plan all along. He wanted us to get
There have been
lost in the
plenty of
forest.
things. I didn't kill Philip. Philip
Yeah,
had
Philip's alive.
whole big thing in the barracks that never should have happened.
Whole big thing of Philip.
I don't know what the big deal is. Philip's alive, and that's all we really cared about.
Well,
He's a
Beth
gem.
rolled a dirty 20, so
Do I get
That's good.
advantage because it's somewhat nature-based survival?
I'll give that to you. Yeah, you can use advantage. That's fine.
Doesn't matter. 17.
Great. Yeah, Beth in the lead with the highest roll, and Eric kind of steering the middle of the pack. You guys directionally get pointed in exactly the right direction. You will make it back to Mir in great time because you can move a ridiculously fast amount of movement. So you get back in just under an hour, I guess, maybe 50 minutes or so, where it would have taken many hours on foot. And you land in the middle of the square. As you land, you can see both Bell and Warwick standing on the ground near the tree. And also, as you land, almost as if he had come with you, materializing on the ground next to all of you, is Bracklebath.
I'm gonna say Visick for some reason. I'm like,
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah.
I forgot about all the other necks I had to snap. I'm sorry.
I feel like Brackle, like materializing in front of you guys, he'd just be like, just all wet, like it's clothes all damp from like
Yeah,
drowning. and
Your
stuff.
clothes are soaking wet. Yeah. You also have all of your equipment back, Brackle.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Brackle.
walk and advance over to Brackle and shake his hand.
Eric, I saw what you tried to do, and I appreciate it.
You saw that? You weren't. How'd you see that?
You tried to save me from drowning.
I tried. You're right. I thought
I
you were talking
appreciate.
about the other thing. We should tell you.
What's that?
There's some people missing.
Brackle
Visit came
Cutting
back.
right to the chase.
Brackle
Still
looks
in
around.
mist form.
Oh yeah, are you guys all in mist form still?
No.
You just landed.
Oh, it takes a
and
minute.
it takes a minute to
Okay.
come out of it. So
I guess
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a
Yeah.
bunch of mist. Like,
We just go like this for a minute.
Why can't it be? Why
Uh,
can't it just be Star Trek, man?
Brackle will just be like, your Teth, your he just like guesses the mists or whatever.
By
Based
their
on
heights
shapes.
and-
Every single person's wrong.
So after
continue.
Yes.
Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a minute goes through. Yeah. That. Brackle will look around. What
Well,
happened?
the town's leader, Silgath, died at Physics' hand. Eleanor too.
Physics back? Is he coming? Is he following you guys? Us?
Luckily, no. I highly doubt he could follow us in this wind walk.
I think he could be anywhere he wanted to be.
Thankfully, we went
Turns
to a
out usually
really
right.
distant town.
Thankfully, plot armor.
What did he say?
Well, he's after the orbs for one thing.
Did he get any?
Fuck trains.
Yeah, he also is
Fuck
really
your
against
trains.
trains.
Well, that's
But,
obviously a much bigger issue than the orbs.
But
He
no,
tried
no,
to
there was
take an orb.
there's no way we were going to give him the orbs. Vern's trying to like rewrite the moment in his own head to not appear like a
Like the trains were the bigger
Like-
issue.
just like an
And then-
idiot. 'Cause
Meanwhile-
he offered
And
up
then
the orb
Eric
to him.
says there's no way he'll take the life of another Dampier. Trying to rewrite the fact that he couldn't get the
Oh.
hand off.
It's okay. It's okay. We can. History is what we make of it. But Brackle, where? I mean, Visick was warping people in and out of existence. Was he Was he keeping you somewhere, or where?
Actually, no. I believe it or not, Coralon was not the only god I saw today. As Eric was pulling down or reaching his hand out and trying to come save me from drowning, I was being pulled down. I couldn't fight it. I couldn't swim up until I couldn't see him anymore, and this fog just grew over me, and all of a sudden I was in this swamp. My feet were wet. I was without any of my clothes that you see now. Just the regular clothes that I wore back in Issamel. And a little fairy, little mote of light almost walked me into this glade. And there sitting down was a Triton, which later turned out to be not a Triton exactly. It was, before I mess up the name, I will look where I wrote it. It was actually the god Sakala. Sakala, sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
did
I
you?
don't know.
Did he have an orb, or?
No, he didn't. He didn't have an orb, and it actually wasn't about. Well, I wouldn't say nothing about obtaining to the orbs, but there's a lot I need to tell you. But I feel like we may need to start moving fast. If anybody's familiar, he's the god of the reef. I'm guessing Eric would know, right?
Eric would know without
Yeah.
checking. The rest of you can roll religion if you'd like. See if you have a familiarity with this god.
How familiar?
We
Like, do I
we
just
we had
know of him, or
we had encountered something about him in chapter 1. There's something to do with the runes,
Oh, the aquatic runes.
Yep.
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Good memory.
I mean, the language that I read and write?
Oh yeah.
Is it a spoken language, Barlos, too?
Aquan is a spoken language, yep.
Cool.
It is the primary language of the elemental plane of water.
Well, long
I guess
story
we
short.
have good religion.
Oh, sorry.
Roll a natural 1.
I would say 10's still decent. Long story short, he turned out to be our Vantus's patron. And he's
What do you hold on? What do you mean by was?
well, it turns out he's looking for a new
Semantics will be Brackl's downfall.
champion. It looks like he's looking for a new champion.
Yeah, but what happened?
No, obviously,
Sounds like he has a
Ozak, it's
champion already.
Did he talk?
disappointment.
That
Did he talk
Or
about it?
Vantas would disappoint anyone.
I was a little overwhelmed at the moment to focus on that detail.
I suppose maybe if it came up naturally in conversation.
He only gave me 5 minutes, so I wanted to use that as swiftly as I could, as efficiently as I could. I don't know. I feel like more of what I'm going to reveal is better for like an opening in chapter 2. But
Okay. I've
I've not been 100% forthcoming with my past.
What?
I am a caster. Yes, I have been nearly all my
Again.
life.
And
But
you're a snake person.
Well, yes, you
There
did
was
know that.
that thing you said about wanting to end humanity.
Canonically, we struck that from the record. But yes,
It was true at one point.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was retconned.
Yep. No. When we get to a place that's safe to speak, I'll need to tell you all more. For now,
As
I
you
have.
say that, Brackle,
Sorry. Yeah.
Flynn will he'll walk kind of behind you on his way to the barracks and just pat you on the shoulder and give the heartiest nod of approval you have ever seen from Flynn. Like that was the right choice in his opinion. Like you did good, kid. Without saying any of that, but
Yeah.
he'll just
Like proud
give you
dad,
that.
Flynn.
The proudest dad.
Yeah,
Like
so happy.
the talk I had with him really that sunk in.
Yeah, that's yep.
Basically, I did this.
Braggle's like, oh, it's more of the god that talked to me, but yeah. No, you were definitely a part of it though.
And you'll see him continue and walk off to the barracks. Also, as you all are talking about this, you'll see the three remaining leadership authority figures of Mir, Warwick, Bell, and Beth gathering by the tree. And they are all kneeling around the stone casket, praying. And Philip is just wandering. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm surprised they let him in the city.
Yeah, did the citizens smell him?
Well, when you guys wind walked into the middle of the city, they had no choice.
I'm surprised they're continuing to let him exist in the city.
Right.
I think they have bigger issues on their minds right now.
That's true. I want to head over to the tree where they're praying.
Is anybody going with him?
I
I'd
would,
stay back.
yeah. Want to give Vern his fucking orb back though, and chastise him. But that can be for later.
Let's do that. Let's do that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Teth and Vern, real quick. Yeah.
Herzog's also going to be there for that.
So
Yeah.
Teth, that was a good save back there.
Vern,
I was just worried about everybody.
Vern, I understand why you did that. That man can absolutely not have an orb.
Okay. Yeah, I could tell by his accent he must be pretty evil.
Yeah.
All right, and on a second note, when I say now's the time to use it, I'll distract him for 10 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Did that mean nothing to you guys?
Yeah.
I use and Vern will just pull out the doll that records messages.
I don't know what you think these orbs can do, but there was nothing resonating within that at that time.
Yeah, the orbs feel really quiet now, Urzak. They're not. See, and I'll take the orb and I'll just point it at the ground a little ways away and just go like this. And hopefully no beams shoot out of it, but
Power. Make roll a D100.
Oh my god!
No.
If you do this and you like shoot a beam through the entire planet,
69.
You plane ship?
That's the magic number.
15.
You're good. Nothing happens.
Okay, good.
So
Had you rolled a 1,
kind of rub his forehead and just say, look, I've seen not even a complete orb, a fraction of an orb create a cataclysmic event right before our eyes.
Yes.
And I know you weren't there for it, but it's our only shot against him.
But it sounds like he already knows where the other ones are. And if he can just appear and disappear and move around? Like, what chance do we possibly have?
You have to be attuned with the orb beyond normal standards. I do get where you're going, Urzok, but I don't think either of us at this moment or that moment have the capability of channeling something to our benefit.
Okay, if you say so.
I mean,
I've seen you use it before.
to punch things, yes.
You think?
I don't want you to give him a hug with it.
What do you want me to? You wanted to punch him and then have him levitate me in the air, and then we'd all still be back there and fucking dead.
It's true. Do you?
Listen, go ahead, Trent.
Do you think we should really be holding on to these as we're venturing around? If we can't really harness their power yet, it just seems kind of dangerous if Visick corners us again. Is there a safe place that anyone knows that could
I was
be
working
a sanctuary?
I was working with Bell on continuing those steps, further attune
Oh,
to them.
okay. Well,
Marawil, who is still close, she's kind of tending to Philip, who doesn't know what's going on. She will overhear you saying that, Vern. She'll not come over to you, but she'll look over. She's relatively close, and she'll say to your small group of people, "Settle your affairs in Mir, then meet me at the bunker. I believe I can help you with that."
Thank you.
I don't want to tell you what your business is, but the place that this orb lived in literally had your family crest all over it. You were hunted down because you were the only person who was able to access this orb. I don't think there's a much safer place than with its rightful owner.
perhaps. Vern is still contemplating how easily Visick was gonna suck it away off the ground, though, and take it from him. So he's
Hold on 1 second. I need to go make a bottle of milk. He's not having a good night. Hold on 1 second.
Nip time.
Yo, guys, I have a great idea for this tree. If they're trying to do a ritual,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they're just praying. I have a fucking great idea. Fuck is that stupid spell called?
Ceremony?
No.
Plant growth.
Yeah, it is. It's plant growth.
Oh,
Druidcraft.
If you cast a spell
I've already
over
done
8
fruit
hours,
craft on the tree.
yeah, if you cast it over 8 hours, you can enrich the land. And I'm wondering if the land, like if they were doing a ritual that was tree based,
Mm-hmm.
if I can feel it. Fuel.
by making the land more fertile.
Mm-hmm. It's a tree, right?
It's a
I had talked to
tree.
Warwick about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, if we make it out of this, like,
Fuck, man, I really wanted you to cut off fucking Eleanor's hand. It's such a great idea.
Why didn't I
I
just
know,
ask
that's so
Flynn to
funny.
turn around and do it?
Yeah, I know. Flynn's sitting there with like an axe. He's like,
Well, his axe is blunt too. His axe doesn't chop.
oh no. Just crushed the hand.
Eleanor's
Yeah.
act works. You know how to use. All right.
I think you and Billy are like on the 20 and the 1 spectrum today. It's like either roll 20, either roll 1.
This poor baby, man.
He's having a rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever just go up to him and just say, "Yeah, buddy, life's hard."
Yeah. Get used to it, dude. Come on.
Yeah. What do you
Get
know? You're a
milk brought to
baby.
you?
I don't know what you think this is. This.
But it's not.
It's not that. Whatever you think it is, it's not that. Way worse.
It gets way worse out there.
Only downhill from here, sir. Where were we? I don't know where we were. Oh, Mara will just talk to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Vern blew a hole in the ground.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see those that are at the tree, see what they're doing.
Okay.
See if I can assist. This is Tet telling Ursak and Vern.
Zach will just nod and we make his way over to the barracks.
And Eric, you were making your way over there as well, correct?
Yep. I'm gonna help Teth now that I see that he's coming over. I don't have what he's planning prepared, but I know that spell too. I can ritually cast it with him if
Ooh, are you going to do the thing that you
Holy
said you were
shit,
going to do?
Can you ritual cast that, Brad?
I can. Yeah, but I don't have it prepared, so.
Ah, fuck. That's
But
so cool. Though.
But I don't understand why that stops like my character from ritual cast. It doesn't cost a spell slot anyway if I ritual cast it.
Yeah.
That is true. I suppose, like, mechanically,
Just like you're
it's up
reading
to
from a
how
ritual
you
book,
prepare.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole prepared spell thing in D&D has always been weird.
Yeah.
I guess I get it from like an artificer point of view, or even like paladin or cleric, like divinity that you are choosing to funnel from your god that day, like you prepare that, or the artificer prepares different components and loads up his or her weapons or whatever. But for druids and wizards, it sure does not make sense to prepare spells.
Especially wizards when that's their whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Um,
Druid's probably in that cleric paladin category.
Yeah, I guess.
I think I'd follow
yeah.
Urzak wherever he goes.
Okay. Vern, what are you doing?
That's a good question. Think I don't want to go join the tree. I kind of want to check up on Beth and make sure she's okay.
Beth is at the tree. Beth,
Yes,
Bell,
that's
and
what I'm
Warwick.
trying to. But I'm wondering if I should. If they seem really engrossed in that thing, me butting in is probably not going to be very helpful.
Just
You
say
can always
nice
go and
things
just
about
show
Beth.
support.
Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds nice.
Isn't that Vern's thing with Beth? Is just butting in.
Yeah, but now I gotta show her that there's more to me than just that. I'm not always a nuisance. So
getting naked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just flashing you.
I'll go up to the tree and kneel beside her, completely clothed.
Oh yeah, Billy.
Yeah. What are the three of you doing?
Warwick, we promised raspberry pancakes or something.
You did.
I'm sure they're not thinking about pancakes right now.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. As you approach, they are all kneeling next to each other on the long side of the coffin, facing the tree. You can hear them praying. Beth is leading the prayer, and she is speaking very softly in. Teth, you would recognize this again. She is speaking in Undercommon.
Is it like a call and response sort of thing where Beth like says something and the rest of them chant back?
you would get the idea that this is a pretty well-known prayer. It may be an established funeral rite of Mir or of Dampier in general. She is leading, and then there are very clear parts that are designated for like the
Congregation or
the congregation or the following that all three of them will say together in unison. Nothing seems to be call and response though.
Okay. In that case, I obviously do not know what they're saying, and I'm not going to make the attempt to try to improvise with them. So I'll just quietly crouch beside and show my support that way.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Teth would kind of fall in just not to interrupt the what they're going through right now. But he does want to participate and pay his respects.
Okay.
Eric would just light a candle.
Okay.
And just hold it. Silent prayer, thinking about Silgath.
As you are sitting there, listening to Beth speak, obviously Eric and Vern, you don't directly understand what she's saying, but you do understand the tone is incredibly somber. But there are phrases every once in a while that seem to almost feel hopeful. They only come around, every 10 or 15 lines or so. But it does add a more gentle flow to the entire thing. Kath, you are understanding most of what she is saying. She's generally speaking just in Undercommon, but there are a few passages in either a dialect of Undercommon or ventures into a different language altogether, where you don't understand her completely. But the general sense of the prayer is the weaving together of grief and thanks. They are taking this time to essentially recount the things that Silgath and Eleanor have done for their city and for them individually, and leaving a space in time for those thanks to resonate through the tree, because they believe that wherever Silgath and Eleanor are, the tree is the vessel that these thank yous will go through to reach them. So they are grieving their loss, thanking them for their actions in life, and wishing them peace on their journeys forward, is the main gist of the entire thing.
Eric would speak up and... Or do I recognize it, or are you saying Vern specifically is knowing that?
Kath knows that.
Oh, Teth's knowing that.
Hmm?
Is Eric picking up on any patterns? The griefs?
You would pick up on the hopeful tone that comes up at the end of every 2 or 3 stanzas. All three of them appear to be very physically distraught. So you would assume that all three of them are going through incredible amounts of personal grief. They all knew Silgath and Eleanor both, all in different ways, but all very intimately. The 5 of them kind of ran the town together in different ways. So to lose 2/5 of your team leading a whole movement of your species, that's the toll that they are taking right now.
Eric would speak on, honoring Eleanor and just inform the three of them that, as you may have figured out as we left that cave and you saw us at the entrance of the cave, we had just come from defeating Coralon. You've already known Eleanor to be the bravest of all Azura's fighters. But did you know that she helped slay Coralon? This will go with her memory and stay with you guys as long as you speak of Eleanor.
Beth won't stop speaking, but she'll leave space for you to kind of get that in. She'll resume the prayer once you stop talking, and she'll just turn to you and put both of her hands around yours and give you a nod of thanks. Just like, thanks for letting us know. And Teth, you would notice that she includes that in the next section of prayer. She incorporates that into what she's saying.
Got it.
They will continue for a little bit longer, not too long, maybe 8 or 9 minutes. And then all three of them will stop and remain silent. And they'll stand up and they'll share hugs among the three of them. And then they will turn to the three of you. You get that they are not in the general frame of mind to initiate conversation, but they do recognize that you were there in support.
If it's okay with you three, I would like to make an offering to continue the circle of life.
Beth will say, "Forgive me, I would like some more explanation, if that's okay with you."
Of course. Teth will look at what's the tree called?
Tree of all seasons.
Tree of all seasons, yeah. Teth would look at the tree of all seasons. Thank you. The only question that I got wrong. Obviously didn't study. And yeah, he would gesture to it and kind of start to explain this might be something that wanted to ask your permission because I don't know if it's something that would affect the tree or not. I have a very, very lengthy ritual that I can perform, which enriches the land and the surrounding area, bolsters growth and new life.
And she'll slowly say yes. She'll nod and she'll say, "That sounds lovely. Please carry on."
It might go without saying, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry for all of your losses.
Well, silently acknowledge. I think they're all kind of in that headspace already. So
Yeah.
it's they acknowledge that you are saying that, but at the same time, it's not necessarily adding to anything that they're thinking about. So they just
Yeah,
saying,
acknowledge
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of the response he was anticipating.
Does a Teth power cell juice me up to get a 3rd level spell slot back?
Hey, you get burned. You get burned. You might be able to hook it up in your butt or something. I don't know.
I feel like I already, with the 6 chances I gave you to chop off Eleanor's hand,
Yeah, no,
I'm
don't
being
do it.
generous tonight.
Barlos, you were gone, and I was like, why didn't I just ask Flynn?
Oh yeah, to
For
cut
his
off.
giant axe. Well, his axe isn't sharp though. His axe
But
is
That's what Billy
it
said.
still is like me, just use Eleanor's axe. He's just gonna do the check better.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. He would have used her big axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have done that.
I imagine of all people, Flynn was probably pretty engrossed in encountering Visik.
I think
Yeah.
Flynn very squarely would have been focusing on not getting his mind
true.
fucked up again.
That's kind of a surprise to cut off Eleanor's hand. Plus, I think we need her whole corpse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I would have, just because of how quickly you did that without even thinking about the risks, I would have allowed it. I would have.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty sweet.
Her hand comes back, and then she's just the thing from Adam's.
That sounds
Just-
great, though. And she's like wields the axe and just like flies around. That's the new Eleanor.
Nice. And then she becomes the bird on like a shoulder.
Throwing
Yeah.
pancakes away in bushes.
She and Zapdos can work together.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
2 tiny flying creatures and Crow, all 3 of them
Mhm.
flying around together, fighting crime.
So I definitely have
Um,
plant growth prepared. I just don't have the spell slot. So
You have ritual, right?
it's not a ritual. I thought it was for some reason because of the 8-hour special
Oh.
casting. I thought it was ritual.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because it's like a lengthy spell, but it's not
Yeah.
a ritual spell.
Yeah, I didn't think about it as a special casting time instead of.
Okay. Without taking too much time, because I know we want to get to other people. Teth would kneel at the base of the tree. He would pull out his orb, and he's going to use this to channel his energy. And he's going to kind of set it in the soil, and he's going to get into a comfortable position in front of him, and he's going to hover his hands over it, and he's going to channel blue energy into the orb at the base of the tree, and just focus intently for the next 8 hours, if you can. And that's what Teth is now doing for the rest of the 6 weeks.
Roll a D100.
That's also, as a note, it is the only spell slot I have left is a level 4 spell slot. So it'll be a spell slot higher.
Yeah, so with that kind of jumpstarts the next thing that I wanted to do, which is essentially tying up this session, but also the chapter as a whole. Each of your characters is going to, decompress from this 4 days or whatever, at different rates and in different ways, especially with, encountering 2 gods, 3 in Brackle's case, encountering Visik again, encountering Visik for the first time. How do you all want to begin winding down from that. This is something that I have come to really think about more in terms of like resting time in D&D, where parties really, like, as magical as you are, you really can't just like grind a 1 to 20 campaign for a month and a half game time and actually survive that. Like, that doesn't make sense for any creatures. So you need time like this. So for the next 8 hours, which will bring us squarely into the evening time, into nighttime, and you can then start a long rest. Teth will remain at the tree. Bell and Warwick are going to stay with you at the tree, Teth. Beth will place a hand on your shoulder, just very softly, in like to the side of your face. She'll whisper, "Thank you," and start to make her way towards the forest in a different direction, not the direction of the graveyard of the cemetery, not the direction of Piro Barracks, up towards the north. There's a third path that leads out of the village, and she's going to begin walking into the forest that direction. Morrowill has said that she wants to talk to at least one of you, more if you want to travel with her together to the bunker. Philip is just kind of chilling, and Flynn is in the barracks. So far, Gale and Dez are unaccounted for. And going by the people that were listed in that broadcast by Cerberus, Gael also is unaccounted for. You do not know where he is.
Also, you have no idea where Adir is at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
She fucking showed up for a bit and was like, later.
We assume Crowbar is back at Glave's Edge.
Crowbar and Elias are both back at Glave's Edge still. Yes. I would just not worry about Adira.
Feel like
Her name wasn't on the
weird.
list of people that we didn't want to save. So
Yeah,
she's fine.
She's been left off of every list. So Teth is already spoken for. He is in place for the next 8 hours. Let's move to Urzak and Brackle. I believe the two of you are heading in the same direction towards the barracks.
Yeah. Urzak just he goes to the barracks. He's not going inside, he's staying outside, and he's just gonna unstrap his shield, loosen up some buckles and belts on his armor, and sit down against the barracks facing the tree. For a moment, just kind of listen from a distance to the prayers, and for a moment observe the tree beginning to sprout to life, and just gonna kind of sit there in silence with his back to the wall, his knees up in front of him, and just kind of balancing the sword on his hand and his knees, just sitting in silence.
No other NPCs are over there. So are you doing anything to interact with him, Brackle?
I guess if that's what he's doing, Breck will be like, "Oh, all right, you're gonna sit. All right, okay," and just walk away, I suppose. Just looks like he needs his time alone.
Is he just upset?
That's definitely the I need a minute to just sit and stew. It's like, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna go back this way.
Yeah. I was gonna ask what was going on and everything. And I was like, no, I can ask somebody else.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he wants to talk about stuff right now. That's what
Or
Brackle
maybe
takes from
maybe
it.
that's exactly what he needs right now. Is he needs a friend, Bracklebath.
Yeah, so
Are
why
you
would
going to
Brackle
talk to
Baffin talk
Philip?
to Zing?
You are both casters, Bracklebath.
So I'll see that that's what Urzak is doing and, leave him alone. So I'd probably go find Vern
Okay.
and get a full lowdown of really what happened. Obviously, you guys already said kind of what happened. And Vern, you're with them at the tree, right?
But after I pay my respects, I'm not gonna
Oh, okay.
stay crouched there forever.
Do you
I'll get
think Beth would like a little bit of pancakes?
I was feeling that. I didn't ask her, but I think it will make her smile.
I feel like even if Vern didn't want to, Brackle would attempt to go make more pancakes. Obviously not knowing that by the time they were done, she'd just be fucking gone. Or I guess I don't. How long did you say the prayer was taking?
8
8
hours.
hours.
Oh, okay. So she'll be there. So we'll be able to make
no,
pancakes.
Sorry. Their prayer is already done at this point.
Oh, okay.
She is walking away. Heth's hallowed prayer for the tree is going to take 8 hours.
Oh, gotcha. In that case,
Plant growth.
I think I'm gonna try and, if they have a library there or any sort of thing, I think I'm gonna try and do as much research on Sekala as I can.
You would know there is a small library in the second story of Bell's workshop,
Okay.
and it is open to the public. So you are welcome to go in there. Do you want to spend the rest of your evening up there researching?
I would, if I can take any books out, I think I'd take them out and sit next to Urzak and read and research.
Okay. Make a. Obviously, you know his name and you know his origin now.
Mm-hmm.
So that will narrow your search. Make an investigation check at advantage, and a religion check at advantage to find the books you need.
Investigation's 18. Religion is, where's her? Good, not good. Religion is 9.
Okay.
Or no, 12.
Okay. Yeah, with an 18, you can clearly see a specified section for not necessarily religious texts like Bibles and Torahs and things like that, but you do find a section for religious reference. A lot of texts written about religious sects, different foundational things where religions were begun, how different deities ended up in Azura. And with a 12, you can easily find 3 books. One is a very large tome that you grab because it seems like a very general overview of religion across Azura. And obviously something like that would have sections on the Presidium gods. So under the Talos section, you'd be able to find at least a small, a couple pages on his followers that were brought over when he was drafted to help create the continent. The second book you find is a is a historical text surrounding the war between the Tritons and the Yuan-ti, and the divine intervention that was at play within those battles. So that's a pretty thin book, more of like a reference text, like a technical text. And then the third one is a kind of a cross pantheon description of lesser deities. This would have a much more in-depth description of Sekala, what his followers do to practice their faith, the typical type of follower he would have, things like that. And you can take all three of those with you by the next time we meet, whenever that is, in 2 months or whatever. I'll make sure that I have some bullet points of things that you would find out researching these texts.
I will grab those and go sit by Urzak, and at some point during the 8 hours, I think I would say to him, you know, Silgath isn't the end of our journey towards Shaw. We'll find another way.
Oh, I know that. I just they say justice is blind. But sometimes I wish she'd open her damn eyes.
I've never met Justice myself, but I believe you that she's blind.
Well, you're supposed to be sitting next to her. Most days it doesn't feel like it.
Fate has a weird way of finding its own justice, I think. Whether we get to see it or not.
Yeah, he won't say much more. Just kind of fiddle with his sword some more, and every once in a while you'll see a couple of orbs of light kind of dancing around inside the blade. That's it. Nothing more.
Yep. I'll study.
Eric, what are you going to be doing for the next couple hours?
I want to identify the vial of sand.
Oh, okay.
Any magical properties.
Yeah. So I don't have this item made up yet, like made on D&D Beyond yet. But this sand, there are roll a.
But do you have to work
Roll a,
on it?
No. Roll a d10.
Gotcha.
I know it. I just haven't typed it into D&D Beyond.
6.
The vial has 6 usable pinches of sand inside that can be used for any component in the crafting of a poison or a potion.
Oh, it's like a magic card or a wild card. Excuse me.
Yep.
Um.
So in essence, if you have a potion that you know that has 6 ingredients that you don't have, you can pour that entire vial of sand into it and make a potion that you could never dream of. But it's at your discretion. You can use that to fill in whatever ingredient you do not possess
Sure.
6 times. And I'll make that item and get it into your sheet as soon as I can.
I'm kind of thinking then. Well, I have recipes that I know, and
Mhm.
some of them I probably don't have the ingredients at all started on.
I will put into perspective, the elevator down to that beach was destroyed. So those are the 6 pinches that exist.
So like I had that
It's
rare
all gone.
recipe of liquid luck. So like
Yeah.
I may not have any of those ingredients, but if I use 3 pinches, I could just have a good luck. But anyway, there's another thing that you and I need to discuss because I've been foraging and picking stuff up that doesn't seem to show up in any recipes. So I don't know if there's a different source book that I have to use to look for recipes or.
I think that could be part of Eric's research over downtime.
Okay. What
You
about the
could check the
rapier?
mirror library.
Gotcha. What about the rapier? Was that just a common rapier?
It is a +2 rapier.
God damn.
Does our bard want that? He's proficient in rapier, maybe.
I think you
I
actually
mean,
have a +2 rapier, don't you?
I have a dancing rapier. I don't know if it's +2, but
Did
I
you get
do
a
have.
+2 from Don's?
Yeah, I also
Wow.
have another +2 rapier.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'll just keep carrying it. I'll just be Zorro now and have three swords.
3 rapiers. Ellie, I mean, this one isn't adorned with caster colors, so it's less conspicuous for you.
It's true. They're worth a lot of money. I mean, +2 weapons are, so we can always sell it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at some point.
Okay.
I'm not proficient in it, so I think it better serve the party.
Okay.
I would also like to attune to the Coralon's Basin item,
Okay.
which I think you want me to roll a saving throw.
Yes, please.
For the love of God, don't roll 1.
Can I give myself resistance first? Actually,
Really don't. Really
Well,
don't.
it's a DC 12, and I have
Oh
a
yeah, what is it?
11 modifier, so is it
So
automatic?
this is what Eric identified on the elevator coming back up. This is the bowl that was dropped on Corlon's body. It's a golden bowl crafted from the finest metals in Azura and fortified with winter steel. It was made centuries ago specifically for Corlon the Archheart. When you attune, any humanoid creature that attunes to the basin must succeed on a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or be aged to the point of decrepitude. In this state, the creature's speed is halved, the range of its vision and hearing are reduced to 30 feet, and it has disadvantage on all ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. The creature will reach the end of its natural lifespan, even as an elf, in 5d8 days.
Oh my god.
Only a wish spell or divine intervention can reverse this aging effect on the creature, and the basin has the following properties. If water is poured into the basin and stirred for a minute, it transforms into a hearty hot stew that provides 1 nourishing meal for up to 4 people per gallon of water used, up to 5 gallons. Stew is hot well in the basin and cools naturally after it is removed. If you fill the basin with holy water, place the hand of a deceased creature into it and cover the corpse with 200 pounds of salt, which costs 10 gold points, gold pieces, points. For at least 8 hours, the salt and holy water are consumed, and the creature returns to life at the next dawn. Once used, this property can't be used again for 30 days. You can use an action to hum a tune into the empty basin, which magically summons a swarm of ravens that flies out of the basin and acts immediately after you in your initiative order. The swarm obeys your commands and disappears after 1 minute if it hasn't been destroyed. Once used, this property of the basin can't be used again for 3 days. Dipping the tip of a non-magical sword into the water-filled basin transforms the sword into a dancing sword for 3 days. Once used, this property of the cauldron of the basin can't be used again until the next dawn. And destroying the basin. The basin is Jesus Christ. The basin is a medium object with an AC of 19 and 95 hit points. It has immunity to damage from any source other than a flame tongue or frost brand weapon. Reducing the basin to 0 hit points with such a weapon shatters the cauldron into 8 pieces of roughly equal size, whereupon all ongoing effects created by the basin, including all creatures raised from the dead, end as it loses its magic.
Okay.
Huh.
You have plus 11 to con.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nat 1. That's the only way you fail it.
Seriously?
You've rolled
I mean,
4 nat
you'd
ones
meet the-
tonight.
I'm
You'd
gonna
meet the 12, but if you nat 1, that's a fail. I'm going to auto fail it on a nat 1.
Yeah.
but I can cantrip.
So you have a
resist-
1. You have a 1 in 20 chance.
Well, I can cantrip resistance for myself.
Yeah.
But
I'll
you
do
get a
that.
1. It's still.
5% chance of failure.
So I rolled 17 plus 4 with a d4. So 21.
Nice. You successfully can attune to Coralon's basin.
Damn, that'd have
Well
been
done.
crazy. That'd have been real bad if you got a 1.
Ancient Eric. All right, Eric, we're going to leave you there and hop over to Vern. What are you doing for the remainder of your evening, Vern?
So can I try to identify if I don't have the ability to identify, or no? Can I like
you can take an hour to magically analyze the item.
Okay, I want to do that with that bag that has my family crest on it that I gave all my friends stuffed animals out of before I learned that they're explosive or something.
Yeah. Let me find it real quick. All right. Yeah, you spend an hour looking over the bag, kind of tossing the animals back and forth in your hands, and you can identify this as a tan bag of tricks, which I will add to your character sheet for you.
Okay, I think I've heard of this
Sin-
item before.
It's cool.
It's this ordinary bag has been stamped by and created and produced by the Wellerby family. It is made of tan cloth, and it appears empty. Upon reaching inside the bag, you reveal the presence of small, fuzzy objects. This bag weighs about half a pound. You can use an action to pull out a fuzzy object from the bag and throw it up to 20 feet. When the object lands, it transforms into the creature you determined by its appearance by rolling a d8 and consulting the table of corresponding bag's color. So essentially, you have a bag full of creatures.
Okay, so the ones that I've given my party, are those just by default stuffed animals now, or and they're neutral, or they can be activated?
They can be activated at a
Okay,
moment's notice. So I would tell them before they
Okay.
just toss it on the
I'll,
ground and they're accosted by a were-jackal or something.
Okay, I'll So I figured that out. I will excitedly tell my my friends what it is, and just take special care of those stuffed animals. And then I'll ask them if any of them want to return their gift into the bag if they feel that it's too dangerous.
Like before you come over, one of us is like, "Oh, I forgot about." He had one of these and just like throw it. I don't
Yeah.
want this anymore.
Let's hear a roar behind you. Actually,
Giant
Brackle,
milk.
Brackle didn't get one, right?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So I'll also
gonna
offer
say-
one to Brackle.
You go to give
Cool.
it back and you throw it at Vern. And it
I
just
desperately try to
goes
catch it
into
in the
animals.
bag and not summon it.
Roll a d8, Breckle.
Yeah.
If you want to take one, that is.
Sure. I got a 1.
You find a
Weasel.
tiny stuffed animal in the shape of a jackal.
A jackal. Okay.
Oh.
Cool. I appreciate it. Thanks, Vern.
Yeah, no problem. This isn't me saying anything about your personality by giving you a jackal stiff animal. Just wanna...
I didn't think anything of it until you mentioned that.
Oh, ooh, well.
Continue, Vern.
Yeah, the only other thing I really want to do is I'll go talk to Philip, and I'll be like, Philip, I know your world's been turned upside down today, and you've lost a whole lot, and we're gonna be heading into some pretty dangerous territory. But if you need a new direction in life, you're more than welcome to come with us. I need someone to be my eyes and ears in the city. I have big deals going on involving the implementation of a railroad system, and it'd be nice to have someone there as a representative on my behalf. I'll give you all the information you need, and you just observe and kind of, push things along politically if stuff gets caught up in red tape. You don't have to necessarily agree now, but just think about it if that's an opportunity you would like. I'll see that you're well provided for.
And you can tell that his face is kind of puffy. His eyes are red. He's been crying. They told him that his brother was one of the ones that was killed in the siege by Corellon, and used against you guys. He's distraught about that, but he seems to take comfort in the fact that a big time adventurer in through his lens is coming to kind of help him grieve personally. And he'll say, I don't know if I'm up for that right away, but thank you for offering. I think I'll take you up on that offer someday. Thank you, Mr. Wellerby.
Of course, Phil. Yes, and dental.
Say they really need is a death insurance policy.
Yeah, it's a whole package. Yeah, all inclusive. The employees don't even pay into it. It's just really well funded. As the evening goes on and you are relaxing and researching and discussing with everyone, you noticed a distinct absence of Marowil. Anywhere you go in the city, she just doesn't seem to be anywhere. And as dusk kind of falls on the city and Teth is finally finishing up with his casting, everyone is beginning to go into their houses, and you are beginning to figure out what you'll be doing, where you'll be staying for the night. This is and so far to the back of your minds that the darkness in the sky and the coolness in the air is now starting to bring these thoughts forward. What do we do now? Where are we going to stay? What's the next step in this plan? We've just suffered so much loss all at once. And as Teth finishes in the dim light of the evening, as the sun is just slowly starting to cross below the horizon, you see from the base of the tree where the orb was sitting a warm golden light glow start to trail up the trunk of the tree. It channels up all of the different ridges on the bark. It gets into every crevice and every knot in the tree, and it flushes out to each branch, into each leaf, and into each vein until the entire tree is beaming with radiant, beautiful, golden energy. And you know that the tree itself doesn't have any leaves on it, but in this state, it's as if it's in full bloom in the middle of spring. Some of the branches are flowering in different colors of light. And you don't hear any specific noise. But it's as if you can hear Silgath's laugh. You're all immediately called back to the moment where you were fighting the elemental and you felled it, and you saw Silgath come out of the woods, and he looked at Urzak and said that he recognized him. I was laughing and joking with you guys on the way back to the cemetery, and that laugh echoes throughout all of your minds and your hearts as you're watching this tree go up in light. It slowly starts to fade, but the earth around it stays glowing, and that does not go out. You're all standing around the square watching this happen. Urzak, you look over, you have an inclination to look over towards the barracks, towards the path back to the transport link, and you see Marwil standing there. She'll beckon you forward. As you meet up with her, she does not speak. She just asks you to follow her. She'll give you a scroll, a spell scroll. This is not an ordinary spell scroll. It doesn't use a spell slot. You'll notice right away this is a magical deed transferring control and ownership and security of her bunker over to you specifically for use as a group, as a fellowship. And she has it penned in there for use of the achievement of justice by the absolved members of the tithes, to be directed under Urzak, the Eternal Blade. You read this and you're following her, and she'll grab your hand, and you feel an immense feeling of cold and darkness for just a second. And you realize now, more than really any moment that you had known this woman, you realize just how powerful she actually is. She has taken you down to the cerebral realm. Just a few feet in front of you, you didn't have to think about anything. You see the bunker. You'll walk in with her. She'll pull you out. It does not feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel anything like the soul-wrenching experience it was the first time you traveled down. As you're standing in the bunker, she's standing behind her desk. You're standing next to her. She'll say, in a very calm, even tone, maybe a slight twinge of pain. You've done something, Urzak, that I don't know if you'll approve of. As you said before, sometimes justice doesn't seem to be listening. We have to make our own luck, our own justice. You carry that sword in the name of an entity that claims to strive for balance, using you as his tool. I hope for you, Urzak, that when you're ready you begin to make your decisions in your own name. And all of them. Just a few to start. She'll take out a second spell scroll from her desk. And she has written up a resurrection spell. She'll say, "Let this be the first decision you make that has your name branded on the front." She will give you the decision to return either Eleanor or Andrew. No questions asked. She will incur all of the magical cost and all of the penalty. Which would you like to choose?
Are those the only choices that he gets, basically? I don't suppose there's any way to reach out to Eleanor.
I may be very powerful. I am not powerful like Silgath or Beth. It's more of their speed. You usually just write the magic.
Well, it's upsettingly a very easy decision then. Because one of them already told me she was ready to be free.
Then you'll make a decision then.
It's already been made. And if she's pissed off about it, then, well, I guess Visik can just kill her again. But why not? Why not Silgath?
Silglath and I have plans to take care of together. In time.
What about Arvantis?
He's
Get-
dead? Speak the name now, please.
It'll be Eleanor.
And as you say her name, Urzak, both scrolls light up. There is illusory text at the bottom that reveals itself on the deed, with the with the stipulation that she put on there that you can take ownership as long as you begin to make decisions for yourself. And the deed glows, and she hands over a magical key. As long as you have that key on you, anyone that you deem unnecessary to be inside of this place not only can't open any of the doors, they can't use or see any of the teleport links, and they can't see the building from the outside. So you control completely the warding of this place and the transport in and out. And on the spell scroll, the illusory text at the bottom that she writes shows up as well. She'll say, "Enjoy your time with Eleanor. It's about to happen. I know that you saw it. I've seen it too. Both of us are supposed to be here." And the text at the bottom says, "A life for a life." She'll say, "Whenever you're ready, Erzak, at your hand, you'll be saving Eleanor. You'll be reuniting me with my dear friend Silgath."
He will pull out the Blade of Corlon.
Okay.
And he will step behind her and to the best of his ability, he's gonna use his dancing lights to slowly fade a brightness into her line of sight, and then with just like absolutely trembling, unsteady sword hand, he'll grab her by the back of the shoulder and insert the sword through the top shoulder into the heart, and then carry her down to the ground.
As she goes down, her free hand is, as you put your hand on her shoulder, she'll grab it with her hand. And with her free hand, she will, as her last act as a immortal being, you'll see her creating a small silhouette, like a statuette. It's on the base, a small base. It's a nice black marble with white and silver marbling through it. And it's a small statuette of her. It's like a half room, you'll see. Her standing in a doorway. With you, Crowbar, Eric, Brackle, Adira, Ash, Oak, Arvantis, Flynn, and Shaw in your bunks in the Castor compound. First time you met. As you sit down on the floor, she will place it in your hand and close your hand around it. She'll look back at you for just a moment with the only energy she has left and give you the biggest, calmest, warmest, most complete smile. And you'll see her eyes fade, and she is gone. And where the scroll was, as you look up, you will see Eleanor standing there in basic clothes, none of her equipment. That is, you would assume, still outside the cave.
It's back in the jail cell. We got to go back, guys.
Tears are running down her face. And that is where we will close chapter 2, guys.
Finally, they're gonna get to fuck.
Not with those 3 layers of exhaustion that Eleanor
Yeah.
is coming back from the dead.
Give me like 4 days. I'll be good.
Yeah, a couple long rests, we'll be all set.
Meta Bracco's gonna be real mad that Mara Will's dead.
You almost got me, Barlos.
I almost got myself like
Like,
I see
oh!
videos of that all the time, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like a place to, like, you can get vulnerable with your friends, and like sometimes you cry when characters die, or like big cool heroic moments happen, and I'm like, I'm all for like young men, mental health. Everybody should be more vulnerable and open than they are, but like I just can't see myself ever getting to that point playing Dungeons and Dragons. And then today happened, and I was like, what is
Yeah.
happening to me? What's
Yeah.
going on?
This is it. This is the
This
day I break.
Brad puts a Halo Sword gif in the Discord.
I've been holding that in for a while that I always thought pictured Urzak as the Arbiter.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Zach does give big Arbiter vibes. All right,
Wild,
guys.
very good.
Awesome
Yeah,
session.
good
Awesome
conclusion.
chapter. This was really fun. We'll pick it up in, I don't know, 7-8 weeks or so, however long it takes to do the other campaign. I'm not in a super big rush. It'll be nice to, I think, take a break from the story for a while and let it breathe
Refresh.
for a bit,
Yeah.
and we'll come back to it nice and fresh.
I
In the meantime, I know we're kind of going past 9 o'clock. I apologize. How much downtime do you think you would like? I was thinking like 4 weeks, I guess. That feels like a medium amount of time, but I have no gauge on what you guys want.
I think we just see how long. You mean like in game or like in reality?
In game. So this would be how long your characters are resting for,
Right.
or taking care of other projects that you want to do.
I think a month is easier to think about. So I think, yeah, I like a month.
Okay.
I'm the only one who's like, yeah, like 2 weeks at most.
Oh.
But I'm fine.
We could do less
Honestly,
than a month. It doesn't matter.
It's hard for me to imagine my character being like, okay, we got 2 orbs. Let's take a break.
Yeah, same. I was
Yeah,
like,
okay,
Chris was
that's
right
true.
there. I was like, let's fucking get going somewhere.
Yeah.
I imagine I would think like
Maybe
I-
we set
I-
up shop in the bunker or something like that and get that together.
Yeah,
I guess. don't
I
know.
was thinking like Urzak has to debrief everybody. Brackle has to debrief everybody about what he went through. Their implications now that Teth passed plant growth the way that he did on the Tree of All Seasons. Was very cool, and I am so happy that actually played out. We talked about doing that like a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
I'm glad that it actually happened. So yeah, I think 2 weeks, I guess, is good to like sit and actually make a good plan, especially now that you know that Visick is also looking for the orbs, but he doesn't have 2 orb maps like you guys do, so he doesn't have a locator. So okay, cool. Let's say 2 weeks. Anything that you guys can convince me on is on the table. I'm not opposed to adding tool or weapon or skill proficiencies. I think the way that the DMG describes it is ridiculous. It's like 50 days for a new tool proficiency, which is wild and way too long. So I think with 2 weeks, if you wanted to add a skill or a proficiency in something, that like that's what you would be doing. That's the thing that you would take 2 weeks for. But I'm not opposed to doing that. I think that is totally viable.
I would spend 2 weeks gaining a level in Wizard.
There's also a variant rule that says you can spend downtime just getting another level, just leveling up again. I I don't think we're gonna do that. That to me seems a little bit cheap. But
That being said, I know we're also very, very late. If anybody needs to go, but you told me to remind you at the end of the session about alternate for next level for me.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
if you would like, just like Brackle got the option to just go straight into a patron. Which by the way, I guess I didn't say this, but I was trying to imply it. It would be something that we could work on together, Andrew. So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be an established patron. We can work on homebrewing something if you choose Sekala as a patron for you.
Okay.
Same thing for you, Urzak. If you would like to take a level in cleric or paladin, you could be a cleric or paladin of Morrowill. Because she
Interesting.
is going to ascend and become a deity.
That's sick.
The only thing that really sucks is that
Wisdom and
I
charisma.
have a 11 in wisdom and a 10 in charisma.
Yeah.
Dude, you
So
don't need. You can
I
smite.
don't need it. I know. I honestly,
I-
we were thinking about doing homebrew stuff, and I was thinking about there's kind of a wizard subclass that kind of has a smite, I think.
Don't forget about magic items too.
If
There was
if
something
you
like that.
want if you want to do that, like narratively, if that's something that think on it, if it's something that you want to pursue, we can homebrew a subclass that just changes the ability score that a cleric or paladin uses. Paladin using charisma has never made sense to me anyway, so you can be an intelligence based paladin or cleric. I don't care about that.
Barlos you'll have to double the hit points for all of your creatures if there's somebody who
Two
can attack
gods,
3
yeah.
times. You can attack 3 times and then act and surge and smite for every single one of them if you wanted
Oh,
to.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I know.
six smites in one turn. And
Technically, you can
I
only
could
do
I,
that
and I
3
could
turns.
and I could be hasted, so it could
Yeah.
be 7.
It's true. It's true. All right, guys. That's all to think about.
Should we level up? Me and Trent.
Yes, you and Trent level up to 14. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Good deal.
Cool.
Awesome, guys.
All right.
Great
Cool.
We get
session.
back.
Okay.
See you next
All right.
week
Bye.
for something new.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Bye.
See ya.
Ugh.